Testing. Oh, hey, Coney's here. What a surprise. Oh. One second, I gotta set up a light. I had a remote for these. I don't know what happened to them. All right, let's get this train wreck moving. Oh, this might actually take me a little bit more effort than I thought. 1 second. Yeah? It's a hit? Alright, sorry about that. I just realized all my stuff was set up for the stream that normally goes. There we go. Sorry about that. I had all my stuff set up for the other stream, and I'm not streaming in front of the green screen because I'm wearing a green shirt. That night, I honestly wasn't planning on streaming. And that's because I thought I had a war today, and I didn't. Funny how that works out. No, it's tomorrow. So, I got a thing to go to tomorrow, but for right now, I thought about it, and I talked myself out of doing it, but I figured I'd pop in, because it is a Saturday. We've been busy. There's lots of things going on all over the place right now. I guess I'll take my glasses off, because it just gives you a glare. Who the heck is that? Hey, Cody. Hey, Cryptdale. Cryptobite. One of the two. I totally read that. Hey, Sonic's here. Luch is here. Coney's here and working on a video. Shinryu's here. Hey, how about that? The gang's all together. Oh, what a week. I know things are still a little bit slow right now, but I have good reason for that, and that's because next week I have like 6 ads that are due. And I keep saying that, but this is the last week where that's going to be like dumping everything together. The thing that hits me the hardest is like Squarespace wants the full video with their ad in it uploaded and like for them to like preview and make sure it's good, when like everybody else just wants the ad. And then on top of that, I'm working on an ad for a mobile game that isn't even going on my channel. They literally just wanted me to do an ad for them. I guess they like what I do. And then the usuals. There's a raid one coming. Spoiler. There's a lot of ads. I'm gonna back-end load ads next week, but after that, they should be a little bit more sparse, and things are warming up finally in Washington, and I'm feeling a lot better, which is always a good thing. So we will start pooping out the content as fast as I can hopefully get it done. Ads are soul crushing. They really are. They take a lot more work than you think. I was so confused by the title. It wasn't gonna happen. I said last week, and hey, we're not gonna stream. and I decided to. I don't know how long we'll stream, and I don't know what we're gonna do. It's kind of hard to like run like a super fun stream by myself. I do have ideas for streams, and I'm hoping, like I got the first section done, which is doing the whole green screen studio and everything like that, and I'm hoping to pivot from that into doing actual like fun Nerf related streams. We're also almost done with the dart catch area, and that is actually on wheels, so we can actually wheel that into the middle of the room and record footage and stuff off that and stream that. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on, but that also means there's a lot of construction going on around. Not only the fact that the master bathroom in the house is getting completely demolished and rebuilt. So Flux actually helped me quite a bit today. He actually absconded away earlier, but we're going through boxes trying to get rid of like duplicates and stuff like that I don't need to kind of pare down the collection. Yeah, it's fun to have 40 recons, but I don't need 40 recons, so basically we're just gonna stick them somewhere else, or he's gonna take care of them or something like that. I don't know. Is the Shellington fly point worth it for the money? Oh my god, that is a name. Riggs, I'll call you Riggs. It really depends on what you're looking for from a blaster. Is it like, oh, this is my first 3D printed blaster, this is what I want? Then no, it's not going to be worth the money. Is it going to be worth it if it's like, you got to have a lipo, first of all. Hopefully you have decently sized hands, because like I have kind of small hands, and it's just about at that point where I can use it. Other than that, if you like the action, you want something that's like not super competitive, but still really fun, absolutely. And the workmanship itself, the design, the engineering on the fly point is phenomenal. Of course, I have an entire video on it, and you should probably watch that before making a purchase in such a quantity. And GDOP makes other things too. GDOP also makes what do you call that thing? The Renfield, the bolt action sniper that uses the same shells, which is super sick. I'm hoping to get one of those. And of course, the lever action, which is also super sick. Ooh, what do you think about Coop772? Don't know, never met him. Apparently I will get my chance though, because he's going to Jared's epic blaster battle now, which I am apparently still going to. So I'm glad Jared caught up with me on that, because it's kind of been dead silence since like October. But yeah, it looks like Coop's going. I'm going with Flux. Should be pretty fun. There's going to be hopefully a lot of people there, and I'm assuming it's going to be a lot more enjoyable than last year, when it was like we had to do like a whole day of it, which is very, very taxing. This time it's just the one event, so it should hopefully be pretty fun. Last year it was like running it pretty bad. So if you don't have tickets, you don't have tickets yet to Jared's Epic Blaster Battle, and you want to meet me, then this is your chance. It goes on in, like Arlington, Texas, and I believe that happens at like June 23rd or 24th or something that weekend. So that should hopefully be fun. You're going, Cody? Cody's going. I didn't know you were around the Texas area. No, I guess that's Saturday the 25th. I don't know why it was, yeah. Here's one for you, Walcom. I wrote out that long post about Mass and Jewels, whatever, especially with the Madhouse Mega Dart Rifle. Any thoughts you'd want to share on that? I'm pretty sure I do read all of my comments, as long as they don't get eaten by the filter mechanism. And I saw a couple of people talking about how many joules. A lot of people were like, it's like 6 joules or something for that Mega Dart, about 220 FPS. What I wasn't prepared for was the sheer amount of airsofters that pop up in that comment section. Oh boy. And if there's one thing that I know, is like, I know our hobby absolutely freaking hates airsofters, because for like a decade now, we've dealt with the why don't you just play airsoft? And there was tons of that. If you go read through the comment section, there's tons of why don't you just play airsoft at that point. Even though I answered this question in the video, airsoft BBs, they're small, they have, you know, they pierce. They don't really pierce the skin or anything like that, but they're kind of that design. They're a BB. They're small projectile. They're meant to kind of like travel fast and hard. They carry the momentum rather well. They fly very good. And compared to like people were like, well, my airsoft rifle hits harder than that. Well, it's like you're fundamentally kind of silly because the Mega Dart weighs a hell of a lot many times more than your BB. Even from like I have like reasonably nice airsoft BBs for my rifle, and I think the rifle hits like 380 FPS with a 0.36 gram BB or something like that. People just don't seem to understand the logic there. Like there's this prevailing, even within our community, there's this prevailing argument that, oh, it hits 200 FPS, so it's fine. Yes, but if it's like 200 FPS firing a dart that's many, many times bigger, like I would not want to really get hit by a 200 FPS Titan rocket. That would kind of suck, especially if it's like point blank. And that's the other thing that people don't really pay attention to, is that we're talking about kinetic energy basically right at the muzzle. We're not talking about kinetic energy 100 feet out. And that, like, because Nerf darts have much more surface area, they're much lighter projectiles, they do typically lose their momentum rather quickly. But, and, you know, airsoft BBs don't really do that because it's just a solid, you know, BB that goes out. Like, they eventually do, don't get me wrong, but they travel much further. And I'll say it again, I'm going to do a video on this. I don't know if it'll be next week. It may be next week. But since I have my airsoft rifle, I have my BBs, I found all that stuff, and I have a bunch of other blasters, I wanted to get a Renfield before I do this video, but I think I'm going to jump the gun a little bit. I wanted to compare and contrast the two because I don't think anybody's actually, like, I'm sure it has been done, but like the difference between like night and day when you're firing a Nerf dart and firing an airsoft BB, they're completely different things. And people fundamentally don't seem to understand that. And I'm not quite sure why. They're like, oh, I fired a 22, so I fired 50 BMG. They're fundamentally different things. They're like, some people don't like 9mm and like, you know, 45 ACP and so forth. Like, there are vast differences in projectile. There's a vast different feel. Things are completely different between them. And I'm hoping to kind of like do a little bit of like poking. I'm not an airsoft guy. I did airsoft when I was a kid, and I have the one now because it was fun and Biden paid for it or whatever. It was the stimulus check. So I do have one, and I was going to do like a video. I think I'm going to do like L-Chan versus that thing. We'll see what happens. Opinion on real guns. Why do we call them real guns and not firearms? Let's just say firearms. Like, there's a term for real guns, and it's called firearms. And firearms are fine. I have several myself. The Whirlybird Mega Accufigs have very heavy heads. This is true. My adult little sister did not appreciate being shot up by point blank. And now you imagine that thing traveling at 220 FPS. Like, it's kind of, if you were like only like 60 feet away, it's probably like getting punched. Yeah, .36 is even considered on the heavier side. Yeah, I figure it would help with accuracy. That's why I got the heavier BBs. It's like, it's only like 2,000 BBs and it cost me like $30 for the bottle or something crazy like that. From a local place, so who knows how much they're jacking prices up. But they're very nice. They feel like steel BBs. It's kind of crazy. I'd say because there's a focus on the FPS kernel between the two, and when people assume equivalence. And that's one of the things that's like, I've brought this up before, like, 150 FPS Boomco is completely different than 150 FPS Nerf. And I was always, like, a big, massive fan of Boomco for that, because Boomco was, like, it still arguably is pretty good, but it's way less important now. Well, because the company's gone, or not the company, but the brand is gone. Boomco doesn't really seem to exist at any capacity anymore. The ammo is basically, you're buying whatever scraps are left on Amazon, and that's eventually going to disappear as well. Although the ammo is wonderful because it is rather sturdy. And you have limited ways to fire the ammo because of the rubber heads and stuff like that. Like, there are challenges here that really prevented Boomco from being truly great. But when we go back 5 years ago, and Boomco was freaking amazing. Can't sing its praises enough. 7 years ago, Boomco was like my number one. But the difference between 150 FPS Boomco and 150 FPS Nerf is completely different. Like, Boomco hit a heck of a lot harder. And that goes for all these different projectiles. The only ones that are really all that comparable would probably be something like, you know, long, full lengths and short darts, because they're literally the same thing, just one has less foam on it. Weight distribution's a little bit better, is what I would say. I honestly, it's something I just don't understand why people don't get it, but I guess I have to make a little bit more of an effort to put it out there, because like people can be like, oh, 100 FPS. Well, 100 FPS, you know, Rival is a heck of a lot different than 100 FPS Dart and so forth. Like, there are fundamental differences that people should be aware of, and I guess we've just done a pretty poor job in the community. And then you got like the you know, airsofters. They obviously care a lot about FPS, but there are like, even my target that I use tells you to like, do not shoot it with anything more than 400 FPS with a 0.2 gram BB. And, you know, if you're shooting at 400 FPS with a 0.36 gram BB, that weighs almost twice as much. That's twice the power, pretty much. I know it's not linear scaling like that. I'm not a physics major or anything, but it is something to be aware of, and people just don't seem to understand that concept. Could be on me. I don't own a scale. I'm going to have to buy one. In fact, I planned on doing that tonight, because for this Airsoft versus Nerf video, I have to make that reliably clear. As for the calculations between the difference, math is not my strong suit, and I am no shame in admitting that I am kind of smooth brain on that. Math was always my hardest subject. English, you know, funny enough, is the easiest thing in the world for me. Trying to read through the comments and stuff like that. Will you be working with legit bread in every 2022 Nerf blaster? If you ask me to, yeah, sure I will. Opinions on paintball. I hate paintball the most. I fundamentally never liked paintball. I tried it, and yeah, it's definitely not for me at all. I have to go play Pokemon Go now. That's what I did, pretty much. Trying to scrape together as much Pokemon Go before the event ended, and I'm pretty sure the event ended, if I'm not mistaken. Get myself a Stuffle. Got myself a 4-star Stuffle, actually. Not a shiny 4-star, but a 4-star Stuffle. So, unfortunately, it requires 400 candy to evolve. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get that. I got about 200 in the, like, half hour I had to play. For 6 to 7 years ago, the Worker Gen 1 was a fantastic dart, and now it's way available. Honestly, I had problems with the Worker Gen 1 dart all the way back then, because the Worker Gen 1 dart was basically one-time use. They were awful. And in fact, there were so many times, if you go back and watch my videos when I was shooting those darts, they basically were caseless ammunition. you would fire the dart, you'd see the dart head, and then the body of the dart just kind of flutter in the wind. It was kind of hilarious. What do you think of the Nerf Rival Fate? I think it's an excellent blaster. In fact, if you have no experience with Nerf whatsoever, I think it's a wonderful thing to pick up. What's your opinion on the Stampede? Horribly outdated. I'm not a huge fan of the ergonomics on the Stampede. I've never been that big of a Stampede fan, but I know plenty of people who are, and power to you. I'm fine with... So I was about to say I'm fine with flywheelers, but that Challenger Mark III really kind of tuned me in. But the Challenger Mark III has plenty of issues, so... I don't know, flywheelers, while they are horribly inaccurate, there's hopefully with the bearing scars stuff that's coming out, I think those will fundamentally fix flywheelers. And funny enough, I still, like, I'm not living and breathing Reddit, Facebook, and stuff like that, and all the Discord channels, but I still haven't really seen anybody do much in the way of flywheelers with a bearing scar. Now, normal scar barrels with like the fishing line and stuff like that, they don't work all that well because the dart is never going to enter perfectly centered, and then you have like trying to engrave rifling pretty much and part spin on the dart. It's just going to go all over the place. They do work. I know for a fact, like canted flywheels, we did those. I'm pretty sure Psych did a lot of research on like, does canted flywheels make accurate? They do, but we still stopped pretty much using them because there's a glass ceiling when it comes to those cages, and they just didn't work all that well. I think a bearing scar with a flywheeler will yield hopefully incredible results. But I think the main issue is, like, you got to give that dart enough time, because you're shoving a dart between two wheels that are spinning opposite directions. And that means if one of those wheels is touching the dart more than the other and so forth, that energy is going to push the dart in slightly different ways. And you have to have the ability to push the dart out, between the flywheels and out the barrel, with all of that energy hopefully focused somewhere in the middle, on top of giving it a spin. And the spin will actually help stabilize it regardless. But it hasn't... I think Valor was working on it. He sent me a picture not too long ago, but I don't think that's been done yet. So it's going to be exciting to see if that does come to pass, because if bearing scars, which is a pretty much new thing for late 2021, early 2022, if that does fix flywheelers, oh my god, like, the meta is going to shift so hard. If you thought flywheelers were BS before, like, the one thing that, the one thing that pump actions and stuff like springers and whatnot, air-powered blasters, had over flywheelers was that they were far more reliable and accurate. But if you can get that super accuracy with a flywheel blaster, it's gonna be rough. Hey, Walcom, do you have a linked name to the Flip Up Red Dot site? You can find them on Amazon. At the moment, I don't have a link for it, because, like, I got the flip ups I got through a company that I think is no longer there anymore. It was a Chinese company, but they do sell them on Amazon. They were Vism, V-I-S-M flip dots, and I'm pretty sure they still make them. And if you want to be super nice, use the link in the description below to purchase it, because that gives me a kickback. You guys have no idea how awesome it is for that the Amazon affiliate stuff. I bought eight Nerf Rival Chaos Mags. Yeah. Which is funny, because I'm about to eat pretty good on the fact that I said that the Chaos will fail because you couldn't buy the mags separate. And then by the time that the separate mags came out, there were better options for Rival. But the funniest part is I've always hated hoppers. I am not a fan of, like, the Proton pack, although the Proton pack's actually pretty reliable. But I really like being able to feel, my shots. And you couldn't do that with, like, the Prometheus or the Perseus and stuff. They're great, wonderful blasters. And honestly, I'm nitpicking at that point, because they're fantastic. But I always hated that. The Chaos doesn't have that problem. And now I've got plenty of Chaos mags. So my plan in the very near future is I have a select fire kit for I can do this actually two ways. I can use the select fire kit that came with the, I can basically just kill sorry, my brain is like, I'm jumping right into this. I basically kill a regulator, a Nerf Elite Modules regulator, and use the select fire kit from that and put that in a Chaos, or I can use the aftermarket kit for the regulator and put that in the Chaos, and I think that's what I'm going to do, because I haven't seen Select Fire Rival, and I'm pretty sure that Select Fire Rival is awesome. I just need to try to put it and see if it will work. Are you going to play the Blood Hunt game on the 27th? Is that the Vampires of Masquerade Blood Hunt? I played the last test they had, I don't know how long, a couple of months ago? I don't remember. It was fun. It had potential, but the worst part about it was the fact that it was a battle royale. The map was too small, and you could move so fast, and you took down people so quickly that in that game, the battle royale did not work. If it was like just a normal, like, free-for-all arena shooter kind of thing where you can make a loadout and level up a character and have special abilities and stuff like that, it would have been a far better game in my opinion. I honestly think the battle royale part hurt that a lot. By the way, is your fan mail PO box in the description current since you moved? It should be in every video since I moved. It should be current. I cannot go back and edit the old ones. It's like, I have to change the entire description. I can't choose or replace parts of the description, apparently. I have to blanket change every description on every video, and I don't feel like doing that. So it's current as of last year. And if you go to the About section on the channel, that is completely current as well. I remember your video, Rant on the Chaos. The select fire is going to be tricky. I don't think it will be. I think it'll actually be pretty straightforward, Dizzy, and I'll explain why. The Chaos uses the same exact pusher mechanism that the Regulator uses. And the Regulator basically just has an infrared sensor, you know, infrared LED and receiver at the front at the dart tip, and it just counts, you know, when the darts go through. The Chaos, I could do the same thing as long as I just mount the infrared things at where a ball would be. It should be that easy. We'll see, though. We'll see. I don't think Rival is inaccurate. It has issues. It's definitely not great. Rival is considerably better than it was. I think the new Rival is actually pretty solid. But when I say accuracy, it's like, can I hit a target reliably with it? That's kind of why I have the test. Like, if I could sight in those new Rival blasters, which you pretty much can't, but you kind of can. Like, if I could consistently hit like an inch group, because there are some blasters I can hit like pretty much an inch group with them, then yeah, that's accuracy. But some people like the Pew Pew's accurate for them, and like there's no way. I'm getting the original Nerf long shot and putting a 20 kg spring in there. I mean, you can do that, Liam. I don't... You're going to need to do a lot more than just a spring upgrade. Ah, the Chaos. Good times, as we're hearing. Fun fact, the Finisher mag is compatible with itself, the Pathfinder, and nothing else. Good to know. Although, honestly, like, mag-fed Rival has very much dropped off the map. Hey Walcom, do you think the Perseus is superior to the Monolith? Yes, in pretty much every single way. Which is a shame, because the Monolith is cool, and remember when the Monolith came out, the Perseus was selling for like $200 because they were just off the shelf. Now that the Perseus is kind of back and it's obtainable for around like 80, 90 bucks, there's less of a reason to get the Monolith. I do like the Monolith, I think it's comfortable, but it just doesn't shoot all that well, and apparently even after you mod it, it's not that great, which is a very big disappointment. I think if you were to give that to anybody, especially for that $35 price tag, and God knows if it goes even lower, you'll have a ton of fun with it. Full auto, you know, hopper, and I think the hopper design on the Monolith is the best we've gotten, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, the Perseus is just so good. The Perseus is pretty much the quintessential best Rival blaster, like full stop. It's so good. A lot of people really ignore the fact that the reason why the Perseus is so good is because of that 9.6 volt rechargeable battery that it comes with. Obviously, not everything is going to come with that, which is a shame. I'm really tired of Hasbro. Like, they could very easily, you know, very easily could Hasbro reuse that battery and that system and all that stuff in a variety of different blasters. But they don't. I don't know why, like, make a battery, make a recharger for the battery, or charger for the battery, sell the battery and the charger separate, and sell blasters with the battery and the charger or something. I don't know how you would do it. Maybe make them plug into USB-C and plug through. I don't know. However you have to do it. Make a battery that pretty much all of your current blasters, like your future blasters, are going to use. Basically, I would do the same thing that Dart Zone did. Have the battery tray be something that you could like take one screw or like twist a thing and remove the whole battery tray and put in the rechargeable battery and just have the rechargeable battery be the same on everything. They tried that with the Nerf Rival rechargeable battery pack, but that thing's huge. Like, and it only worked in like what? The Nemesis and the Chaos, and then I think literally Dart Zone or Adventure Force had more blasters that used that battery than Nerf. And then the Perseus came out, or the Prometheus came out, that used a different rechargeable battery. Then the Perseus came out, and that used a different rechargeable battery. And like, why? Like, just make one battery that's good. You got one. Take the one from the Perseus and make your blasters use that. That easy. I cannot be the only one. Like, this doesn't this doesn't fix the problem, but I can't be the only one that's tired of buying D-cell batteries. Holy shnikes, am I tired of D-cell batteries. Like, I say that's like, I would rather never have to use D-cell batteries again. But if they were to release a blaster, it's like, yeah, it takes D-cell batteries and our new rechargeable battery. It'd be like, well, as a reviewer, I still have to go to the store and spend 20 bucks on D-cell batteries. Grumble cakes. But it would be cool because that would be a lot better. It worked in the Hera. I keep forgetting the Hera is a thing, but you are entirely right, Homely. In my defense, I used my Hera stock for maybe the review and then cut it in half. And I've never had a second Hera. I need a second one, but I've never gotten a second Hera. What do you think of worker stocks? Excellent. Not 49 Flame, they're wonderful. All NERF needs to do is to make every AccuStrike and all electric blasters lipo-fed. There's obviously that's not going to work, but they really need to... Hasbro's biggest problem... Well, they have a couple. And I want to do a video on this, and I keep talking myself out of it, but their biggest problem is that, like... There's just no... There's no good, like, upgrade path for them anymore. Flywheelers are flywheelers. Like, we're going to get that new Moto Blitz or whatever. There's going to be cages for that. I'm sure they're going to try to prevent us from getting in that thing, or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be nice. But there's going to be a cage and stuff upgrade path for that will make it reasonably good. But for Springers, it's like they are doing everything possible to make sure that you fundamentally can't upgrade their Springers anymore. And that's kind of been a problem in the past, but... Man, look at how good Chrono Mags were. Like, especially like once Worker and stuff put out a kit for them, and you could literally make like a 300 FPS mag-fed T-Pole Chronos. It was fantastic. And there were lots of like long shots. Like, we modified the crap out of long shots, and now NERF is doing everything they can to make sure that's not possible. And you can make the argument, and I do agree with you, that's like, well, who cares? They're for kids. Fair enough. But then we start getting plastic trigger springs, plastic catch springs. The finisher has a plastic catch spring in it. Or not the finisher. Maybe the finisher does. The side swipe does. Plastic catch springs that's just asking to break. It's gonna happen. And I guarantee you, I will be surprised if you used a finisher or a side swipe regularly for a couple of months. I would be surprised if that catch spring did not fail at some point. But it's like, and tapered plunger tubes with vents in them. Like, they're doing, I know they're not technically, like, they're not looking at the mod community and going, oh no, we gotta stop these guys. That's not what they're gonna do. There's no point in Hasbro doing that. There is incentive for them to do that in the sense that if something goes wrong, if I modify a NERF rival long, or NERF, whatever, modify NERF long shot, and I shoot somebody with it and winds up on national, somebody took their eye out with a NERF blaster and it was a modified NERF long shot, it's going to make Hasbro look horrible. But I would also argue that that Pandora's box has already been opened, because I guarantee you, I'm surprised it has not happened yet. So maybe this guarantee is worthless, but I am surprised that nobody hasn't bought their, 10-year-old, Nexus Pro, and they took out some kid's eye with it, and it wound up on the newspaper, or, some other website saying, kid loses eye with NERF blaster, and it's actually the Adventure Force, I'm surprised that hasn't happened. And I know Hasbro would have I'm sure they have a lawyer team. They probably have a SWAT team already ready for that kind of event. But I'm really surprised I haven't seen that. And the whole point of not modifying because we don't want any bad will, if somebody gets hurt with a modified one, I think that ship has sailed. So if it's cheaper, sure, power to them. But it really does feel like they're trying to do everything they can to make sure that's not a thing. And it sucks. So it's that's why I like flywheelers generally a lot more. McDoyle, member for 42 months. Become a member. Be cool like me. This is true. When you get emotes, somebody should be flooding emotes in there. We got all the emotes, and all 8 of them or something like that. Spring Thunder or Colonel Wasp Firefly? Thomas, you're asking 2 fundamentally different things. Colonel Wasp Firefly is cool, but you're really limited to, you know, half dart, 2 quarter darts, or the 50 cal foam balls. And a lot of wars will probably not let you use the 50 cal foam balls because that's really hard to like clean up and pick up, especially outdoors. But it is fundamentally, in my opinion, the best shotgun. I love the Colonel Wasp Firefly. I am not a huge fan of the Spring Thunder anymore, just because the shells are huge. The thing is not very attractive looking. It doesn't feel very good to use, in my opinion. But it cannot be understated. Like, you can really shoot practically anything out of Spring Thunder shell, and it's going to have a lot more plunger volume and a lot more power than the Colonel Wasp Firefly. But you could shoot Rival, Mega, like you have to cut down the Mega Dart, but Ultra, Hyper, you know, 1 dart, 2 dart, 4 dart, all these crazy combinations. A little from column A and column B. You can have, you know, 2 Rival, or 2 darts and Rival and 2 Rival. Like, there's so many different combos that you can do with the Spring Thunder shells. However, do you own a 3D printer? No? Then don't buy a Spring Thunder. It is not worth it to buy a Spring Thunder if you do not have a 3D printer. I don't care if you have a 3D printer and buy a pre-built Spring Thunder. I can understand that, but the whole point is, like, you want to be able to print shells, and you want to be able to print whatever shells and get replacement shells, and I do not recommend buying something that uses shells when you don't have a way to make the shell, because they're going to get lost. You're going to have to buy a ton of them at once, which will get very expensive. I wouldn't do it without a 3D printer. Have you heard about the new Elite 2.0 Trailblazer? I haven't. I've filmed a review. I will get it done eventually. That whole video was so negative. I just kind of looked at it and went, is the Trailblazer good? The 6-shooter's better in my opinion in pretty much every single way. But I'm sure some people will like it. And that's the issue I have. Like, this is where it's like, I don't know how to go forward. It's like, because like every single Nerf review I do, I hate pretty much all of it for a variety of reasons. And nobody really wants to see a grown man just sit here and poop all over things that some kids will have no problems with. And I am aware of that. So like when I do the video, it's like, if I say the bad things, and now I'm trying to be more constructive, I will tell you, I did like the Tetrad. And I did find out after that video that the Tetrad is very easy to take apart. You can't really upgrade it much because of smart AR systems, and smart ARs you can't really modify much. But the Tetrad for like $11 is really nice. But the loadout pack, the Ace SD1, the Trailblazer, like they're all so, and what is it, I didn't actually show it in the video because I didn't have one, but the Prospector, like, they're all a joke. They're all not worth the money. They're all bad. They're all just landfill, e-waste. They're all just derivatives. Like, what we got, the Technician is like a 2-shot pump action shotgun, except for it's just a 2-shot smart AR, and it's a pump action. It's basically like a pump action Jolt. It's stupid. It's just landfill. I hate it. I hate it so much. And I get so angry about it and so apathetic because it's like, why does this exist, Hasbro? Who the hell's like, somebody is just like, well, it shoots 2 darts, so it's a shotgun and we're going to sell it in this pack. And God, just, so angry. So very angry about it. And then I just get a bunch of comments from people who are like, well, I don't know what you expect, you WALCOM. It's a toy for kids. I can't win. And it's like, am I too old now that I'm so cynical that I can't enjoy anything? I don't think that's true. Is it true that I like higher FPS stuff? Yes. Is it true that most people like higher FPS stuff? What is like the thing that always gets everybody's attention when it comes to internet videos on YouTube relating to Nerf? It's always modifications that fire faster, hit harder, have larger capacity. That's what people like. 9 out of 10 people, I guarantee you it's probably 9 out of 10 people would rather have higher performance than anything pretty much else. That is just quintessential. That's how things work. Now, there is a limit. There's diminishing returns. I think after 200 FPS or so, I kind of waver on if I like it or not. It's cool if something hits 300 FPS, but it would be cooler if I could easily tune that down to 200 FPS or 150. If it was like, oh, this thing will only ever hit 400 FPS, I'd be like, that's cool, but I can't use it for anything other than like shooting it at a target or something. And it's frustrating because NERF is like, they're not catering to me, and they shouldn't. But every year there was always like, a bunch of things that I liked, and I would like things for various different reasons. I still think the NERF Ultra Select is a wonderful blaster. I love the NERF Rival Select, NERF Ultra Select. In fact, I think it was on sale yesterday on Amazon for $30. And I was like, that is so good. Because I think the Ultra is still $30 on Amazon. Use the link down in the description. Buy one. So good. It's cheaper than the Ultra Focus right now. It's like, and why is it like, even as a stock blaster, it's fun. Now, does that mean that Ultra doesn't have its issues? Yeah, it does. But the pinpoint darts, like, you could have a stock Ultra Select with a couple of mags, as long as it fill full of pinpoint darts, which are also $5.50 for a 20 pack right now, by the way. You would have a reasonably good time. Better than I think any other stock blaster that's not pro. And I say that with like complete conviction that I think like, yeah, Dart Zone, like a Spectrum, it hits 100 FPS with short darts. I actually think AccuStrike is a more compelling product at that point. Why? Because AccuStrike doesn't hit as hard, but it is still flying, the Ultra, doesn't hit as hard, but still travels an incredible distance. And it's very nice feeling when those darts kind of go where you want them, and the Select having the whole, selecting magazine gimmick, even though that's not perfect, like, it's so good. And it looks cool to boot. And it feels good to boot. Like, I really like that blaster. And I have it from Dr. Flux, who literally is like, oh, what? Nobody's modified a Select? I'm going to do it. And that's what Dr. Flux did. He modified a Select. It works fine. You can even remove the DRM out of it and make it work like a normal blaster. You could replace the pusher and make it shoot short darts, and nobody's done that yet. Such a good blaster, in my opinion. It's one of the better things NERF has put out in a while. I would put the Select up there for me with the Infinus. And the Infinus is notoriously very hard to modify. That's my opinion. Like, but again, that's a flywheeler, and that's only because you can actually modify the flywheeler. Like, I know you can technically modify the Fate and probably a few other of the new rival ones, neck them down to shoot short darts, but that's becoming less and less good. Like, yeah, you can go modify NERF Rival Knockout to shoot short darts and get like 150 FPS for $10 if you already had the tools and materials. But if you didn't have the tools and materials, you'd be better off probably just going out and buying an Aeon Pro. That's becoming more and more of a problem. And that's why we're in this growing pain phase of our hobby where we've kind of been like parallel to NERF as it's been going forward, and now we're pretty much going in the complete opposite direction. And it's gonna be very difficult. And as a channel who relies on NERF, I'm still gonna have to take a look at NERF. The hobby is not big enough to support just looking at hobby-related stuff. That's why you have to sprinkle in all these other different things. But it could happen. I'm actually terrified of what Hyper is going to do. There was new Hyper Blasters, leaked. We'll see what happens there. Well, thank you, Michael. Ultra is so good for Stringer. I have heard this as well. I I need to get my hands on like I've tried to cut, like there's a crossbow, like you could buy it like Cabela's or something that's like really good for Ultra that I want to like actually take a look at. If it can't be tuned under 300 FPS, it's only good for blatching Lucha for tips. This is true. Or me. I have had Lucha unload a milsig into me. Thank you very much, Laxi, and there will be plenty more. I have tons. I'm so far behind on videos, everyone. I will get there eventually, but the problem I'm having right now is that like doing a Raid Shadow Legends ad takes me like anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to do the like 2-minute long ad. And then Raid is like pretty picky about what they like. They will be like, oh, you need it at from 1 minute 18 seconds to 1 minute 20 seconds. Can you please tighten up that editing? Like they're pretty hard on me. But they pay really well. I know a lot of people hate it, and if you're one of those people, I don't know what to tell you, because if you were in my position, you'd be like, you have to put up an ad that everybody's going to skip anyway and get a crap ton of money for it that you can use to fund everything you're doing. Everybody wins, in my opinion. There's no doubt, but people hate Raid. Mech Arena, it's the same company. I actually have played Mech Arena like somewhat regularly because I like shooting things. It doesn't, nothing doesn't say to me that's like, oh, if I want to just swipe my credit card, I could have the best everything. But the problem with those games is like, when you start doing the swiping the credit card, it's going to match you against other people that swiped their credit card. And if they have more money and more time and more skill, they're going to just dominate you. That was the problem I had with Frag Pro. Like, I actually really like Frag Pro. And it just got really bad. Like, every patch they keep adding, like, oh, here's a hero that's broken. Buy it now. And if you were dumb enough to buy it now, you just get matched up against, because it's based on your power. So the more stuff you have on your account, the higher level your account gets. You get matched up against equivalent accounts, and you get steamrolled. That's kind of how all these things do it. I play a lot of mobile games. I don't get, like, upset when it's like, hey, spend $5, and I just click the little X button, because the fun I have in mobile games is not spending any money and getting as far as I can. And that's never bothered me, but I really wish, like, I stopped playing COD Mobile because COD Mobile literally sells better guns for money, which is, I think, stupid, which sucks, because it's like, COD Mobile has the freaking Chicom in it from Black Ops 2. And I remember, like, $10, give me that Chicom. I gotta use it. I gotta feel the Chicom again. Oh, I love that blaster, that gun so much. Like, the Chicom in Black Ops 2, of all the things I loved about Black Ops 2, there's something magical about that stupid thing. It wasn't even good. It's just the fact that it's like, it's a 3-shot burst that will basically fire as fast as you can click the button. And it just feels good. And it's like, we call it the Beyblade build, my roommate and I. Because we just turn the corner and just let it rip. Just burn! It's, oh, yeah. That's a distraction. Take offers from Manscaped. They have not been back. They have not given me another ad. I don't know if the ad performed poorly. The video did pretty well. But I have way too many ads right now. I'm actually drowning in them. And of course, it's been a rocky month, and I'm trying to get back into things. But my goal is to hopefully, once things heat up, the source of my sickness is gone. Which was apparently black mold in my walls. That's why my bathroom's being torn apart. Hopefully all that gets fixed and everything's gonna be, and I can just work on videos as I want and not have a million ads that I have to get done, which is not great. Magic Spoon was interesting. I did look them up, but too expensive for cereal for my blood. That's fair, Crisp. I understand that sentiment. However, I will also counteract the fact that all food that's not terrible for you generally costs a lot of money. Now, I don't know about all the stuff that's inside Magic Spoon, whether that's good for you or not, but I can tell you that judging based on vitamins and calories and what it doesn't have in it, which is, of course, like gluten and high in protein and no sugar, that is much better for you than standard cereal. And that's why, if you try doing keto, go to the store and look at how much a loaf of keto bread, which thank God that's even a thing that exists, costs compared to normal bread. The keto bread's stupid expensive, and it's just crappy white bread with basically no carbs in it. Same thing with like the tortillas, the carb counter tortillas. Like they're like twice as much as the normal tortillas. It's frustrating. If you want to eat like out of the frozen section or something, like for keto, it's so expensive. It's not even that good. I haven't loved the Magic Spoon cereal. The wife Lee loves it too. I know, and she never liked cereal. Man, oh god. It's so I'm hoping like I'm hoping they'll be like they look. That video did so well. I'm hoping people bought it, and I hope. I don't know. It was there was a tracking code on it. I'm really hoping that they go like, yes, we need to sponsor this Walcom guy, and so I like just get buckets of cereal. What is your favorite snack? Ironically enough, it's cereal. There's a lot of things I really like, but cereals like that, it's like that anytime thing. Like, I will go down there and destroy a box of Life cereal right now. And it's like, what, 5:55 at night. I'll have it for breakfast, I'll have it for lunch, I'll have it for dinner. There are several days, it's like the wife gets home, she's like, I don't feel like cooking. And I'm like, well, I don't feel like cooking either, so I guess it's cereal. What's your favorite, Homely? Corn Pops? Corn Pops I have a love and hate relationship with. Sometimes Pops are really delicious, and sometimes it really grates on you. Life cereal is the one that's like, it's always consistently awesome for me. Kix is my favorite cereal. I think I knew that, Lucha. I mean, I doubt they did. I like Kix too. Crispix I also am a huge fan of. But I have to add sugar. Or something. I can't eat just like, It's like, I used to eat a lot of corn nuts. Or grape nuts. Grape nuts is what they were called. I have to add sugar to it, though. Is the Mark II still good? Is that the little pistol, Nicholas? I would skip it, to be perfectly honest. What was your favorite Nerf Ultra Blaster? Probably the Ultra 2, to be perfectly honest, Kree. The Ultra 2 is just a phenomenal blaster all around. And again, how come we haven't seen like another version of the Ultra 2 that shoots standard darts? What the hell is Hasbro doing? I'm really hoping at some point, I know it's practically impossible, I think it can be done. Okay? But I'm really hoping we see a Springer that uses the mechanism similar to the Ultra 2. I want to have a cylinder in the back that I could load darts in that's like a pump action like shotgun or rifle. And I bet you could do that with like the pumping motion, pushing the dart into a thing and pushing a spring back. And then when you prime that port, it seals a breach behind it. And the plunger tube just goes underneath of it, like how most of the Busby blasters work. And then the barrel being, I bet somebody could 3D design that. But it would be really hard to have all those little moving pieces. But Hasbro could do it pretty easily, and that would be so cool. Because I want a Springer where it's like, you know, bam, 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 and then and just keep going. And you could put a big plunger tube in it too, because it would be out of the way of the entire system. Basically like a Lynx with a cylinder on the end of it and a little finger that pushes it into the barrel. That's what I want. I think somebody, didn't I pay Valor a bunch of money to print me out some kind of Lynx that had an internal magazine? I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember. Cinnamon Life has been my go-to lately. Oh, yeah. Frosted Flakes are always good. Frosted Flakes are one of those, but you have to have like the coldest milk imaginable for Frosted Flakes to really slap. Life cereal's always been kind of like my favorite for some reason. I will slam down on Quaker oatmeal oats, Cody Dog bringing in the obscure stuff. I've had that. It's like, I had a friend that only liked whatever the K style. What the hell is it called? K-Life? Special K. All about that Special K, baby. The Chocolate Life is great. I don't think I've actually had that. I've had a couple of their weird flavors. Have you ever tried Tim Tams? I have gotten one package of Tim Tams sent to me once. And I was told I have to do the Tim Tam Slam, which I did. I believe that was like coffee and using the Tim Tams as a straw or some weird thing like that. What do you think about PDK Films? Awesome guy to hang out with. I watched a couple of their videos. They're not really for me. There's a lot of work that goes into making that kind of stuff, and he has a pretty awesome team. But super fun dude to hang out with. Super fun. He was, him and his brother were probably my highlight of the whole trip to Jared's Epic Blaster Battle, and Sophie, of course. I just bought your Monkey Mods Firefly and put it together. Bad Boy is amazing. That's awesome, Laxi. Greetings, WALCOMS7 SNST Corn Pops. Yeah, that Corn Pops has come up. Now, if you say Honey Smacks, I might have to shrug and wince at you a little bit. That's a cereal I think sucks. Then again, interesting enough, I didn't like Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles as a kid, and I like them more as an adult now, but it's still not like something I generally get very often. Were you able to shoot the shotgun shell full of hyper rounds yet? No. No, I have not, Nerf Talk. Johnny Blaze, you should listen when I answer your question the first time. Have you played any Destiny 2 yet? I played it when it went free. So can you get the Galahorn pre-order? As far as I know, it's not actually up for pre-order, but I have a friend who will just let me do it whenever it's up. Not that I'm looking forward to dropping $160 and waiting probably a year. Who knows? Yeah, who knows about that? Applejacks and Captain Crunch are also both fantastic. Applejacks, I will mess with Applejacks. I will absolutely slay a box of Applejacks. Fire Wyatt 2 with a $5 super chat. Hello, I'm new to the channel. Well, way to introduce yourself to the channel. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out, Fire Wyatt. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Crunch berries. I'm over crunch berries. I've had so many crunch berries, I can't stand them anymore. Same thing with Reese's Puffs. I can't stand Reese's Puffs anymore. I just won't. Reese's Puffs, peanut butter. Reese's. I love peanut butter Captain Crunch though. Fruity Pebbles have to eat quick. Yeah. I liked Fruit Loops. Not Fruit Loops. Tricks. I liked Tricks back when they were the actual like things, and then they changed Tricks and it was awful. May have been asked, but what do you think of Coop and American Foam being at Jared's Epic Blaster Battle this year? I think that's awesome, and I can't wait to meet both of them. What is it? Raisin Crunch, one of the Raisin Brand Crunch or whatever. That stuff is like so good. I could eat a box of that right now. Everything has salt. Oh God! And how could I, for Cordell, slam dunking it with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch? That's another cereal that's never been bad. Never has Cinnamon Toast Crunch not been pretty much S tier all around. Oh, I don't know when this became cereal timies. What is this? Offer. Well, your junk mail. And this, I think, is SD cards. Yes, it's SD cards. Hey, look at that. Yay. That was mail. I'm convinced they put crack in it. You might not be wrong, Owen, but I can tell you I haven't had Cinnamon Toast Crunch for a couple of months and I haven't had any of the symptoms yet. Grape nuts. We talked about grape nuts earlier, Builder. I have to put sugar in it. I can handle it, but I have to put sugar in it. Honey Bunches of Oats. That's one that's like I would put a step below Frosted Flakes for me, but it's definitely good. I like apple Cheerios. Pretty good. Honey Bunches of Oats is one of those things that I kind of OD'd on. Honey Nut Cheerios, again, the step below even that. Honey bunches of oats and all the you know, honey almonds and all that. I can't have them anymore. I just had too much of it. Hey, Walcom, how many Nerf blasters do you have? Too many is the answer to that question. Actually, I literally gave 3 boxes to Flux and didn't even blink. It was all just jank. It was all like Mavericks, Fireflies, the Nerf one, Hyper Fires, the Dart Tag one, Fury Fires, the Dart Tag one, just all of those. Just get them out of here. I don't need them. I'm not trying to just collect all the blasters to be like, yes, I have. That doesn't do it for me, because I don't need to have my entire studio and everything filled with a bunch of blasters I'm never going to use. I want 1 or 2, you know, one of each color type thing, and keep that. And then especially if I don't need the blaster at all, like a Hyperfire, like an old Dart Tag Hyperfire, I'll just take each one of each variation and get it out of here. Now if it's like the Nerf Elite Hyperfire, I probably have like 5 or 6 of them, and I will keep all of them, because that is a blaster that you never know when I might want to do something with it. Golden Grams? I used to like Golden Grams as a kid, not so much anymore, but Waffle Crisp will forever be absolutely amazing. Honeycomb will also be up there, but Waffle Crisp is also one that I just love. See, I like granola. I can literally just have a granola cereal. Honey Bunches is like, it gets, those little flakes, those wafer thin flakes get soggy pretty much instantly and ruins everything. Buy a bag of cereal marshmallows and add to any cereal pretty much, and it's like an instant level up. I actually don't like cereal marshmallows as the texture thing. Oh, just thinking about it, I got shivers down my back. Like, I literally, I can't stand them. I keep forgetting about that ass gremlin honeycomb mascot. Favorite 3D printed Springer? Probably the Lynx. It's kind of hard to not love the Lynx, Ty. Would you put Peeps in your cereal? Now, I love a Peep, but a Peep has a way different texture than... Yeah, like chewing on styrofoam. It's either too gritty or it's like slimy, and it's never anything else. And yeah, biting into it and feeling that against my teeth, yeah. What's a small blaster that's easy to get with a hard punch? X-Shot Micro. Ooh. Do you like Rice Krispies? Not so much, Kingston. The stream that I said wasn't going to happen. Yep, I said I wasn't going to stream today. And I am. I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody complain. It's like, oh, that's clickbaiting, Walcom. I should just clickbait all of my streams. Screw it. I think Joel Haver does like really weird stream names where he's like, my girlfriend just left me and I'm playing Dark Souls 3 or something like that. My parents are getting back together and I'm playing Rocket League. Should just do all my streams like that. What's your favorite Mega Blaster? That would be the Mega Megalodon. The title confused me because of the stream. Oh, because of Steam. Did I... Oh, the Steam. Ha ha ha. In my defense... I'm sure there's already Discord groups making fun of me of that. In my defense, I literally like wasn't going to do it, and I was like 4 minutes before I was supposed to stream, and I was like, oh my god, I need to do a stream. I might as well do a stream because I'm not going to be doing anything else. Yeah, just like really quickly threw it together, and I was like gonna stream. I had to move everything from over in the like the studio for the green screen, everything, because I'm like wearing a green screen shirt essentially. So I I did get my hands on something that's interesting. In fact, give me just a moment. I'm sure people will have questions about it, so I might as well pick it up, and this is why I'm wearing the lav mic. Come here, you. Yes, come right here. I'm going to be using you. And I need another thing. Where's the other thing? There we go. All right. Give it up for Thwongbad. All right. So, this thingy. What do you think? Questions, comments about Worker's latest and greatest? Kind of ticked it's a black barrel. I think even the box shows it having an orange barrel and they gave me a black one. Gamer girl chair. You know it. I'm the cutest of gamer girls. That's why I love being this massive thing with the beard and the long hair and then having all the pink stuff around me. Velocity compared to a Phoenix 2.0. Well, considering that this thing is shooting micro darts, or using micro flywheels, this thing only hits about 125. Oh! Ah-ha-ha! That was cool. Probably looked better in my head. I get to see an instant replay. It wasn't too bad. So a lot of you are probably like, oh, I'm not using the slanted mags. I'm not going to buy into a whole new ecosystem. Well, guess what, suckers? The new mags for the Nightingale are different. They are very much... Let's see if I can get this even. They're a good amount thinner by like a pretty substantial margin. They basically just barely have enough room for the dart. He says as the dart gets caught, like just barely enough room for it. They are rounded, and they have the original catch point on the mag, and they also have another catch point on the mag for the Nightingale. The Nightingale uses the same kind of thing. I did try this in the, the Fire Rat. That wasn't really a thing. It is free drop the mag. The mag release is not ambi, only on one side. The build feels good. The blaster is a little bit small for the hand, but I would like a little bit, maybe like a quarter of an inch more on that grip, but it's fine. It's got the same rubbery grip that you'd get with like the Phoenix or whatever. It appears that my complaints are reaching someone because there is an on-off switch on this thing. And, headphone warning? Headphone warning. Okay. You hear how fast that was? Let's do it again. That is very crispy. Very crispy. That is super fast. And then, of course, you can just, rattle off shots as much as you want, but if you want that little bit of charge up time, it feels good to use. It is very snappy. I believe the price is pretty reasonable as well. I think they start at like 40 or 50 bucks. Very well built. Questionable design decisions all around. Didn't come with a rail up here, which I was a little upset about, but it feels good. It feels snappy. I like it a lot. And that's a shame because there's like 4 3D printed flywheelers I was supposed to take a look at, and I still will. But that thing, the Nightingale, is just whew. And I'm ashamed I only have one of them. I wish I had more, but it is a very, very nice pistol. I don't know if there will be an adapter to use like these and like the Phoenix 2.0. You can kind of get them to catch, but they don't. They do, again, have the same exact catch points right there, but the mags are sufficiently thinner. But yeah, it feels great. And it looks pretty wonky. I don't know if we're still going to have this complaint that it looks too much like a real pistol, but then again, a high point's ugly as sin. But it does look sufficiently different. You can't even tell there's a barrel on this, except for right up here. I just really wish this was orange. It would just make me feel a little bit better. I wish all of the black parts were orange, pretty much. Would you use it for HVZ? I wouldn't use half-length darts for HVZ. That's just expensive. But you could. What kind of motors? I actually don't know, and you can't really find out because the motors are glued into the flywheel cage on this thing. That rev up alone, it is very... It is very responsive. Very. Yeah, we had to do something like that homely, but I wouldn't like to directly rip off somebody else's design like that. Have you stopped collecting Nerf ammo? No. In fact, I plan on half my studio, or the filming space, I plan on taking down and replacing with just ammo. With a slimmed down mag design, does it make the mag through handle seem more comfortable? Yes. I can actually demonstrate that pretty easily. So this isn't entirely fair, because I find the Worker Phoenix 2.0 pretty comfortable, but the reason why the Phoenix 2.0 is comfortable is because it has that rubberized grip. But you can see when I'm holding it that I can't fully get that around. It's just a little bit too much for my hand. And then here's the 2.0. It is it's a sizable difference. I have to take the mag out of this one. Or it's a noticeable difference is what I should say. Much, much more comfortable on the Phoenix 2.0, or the Nightingale. But this is comfortable enough. I think this is much better than the original Phoenix, but it's mostly because of that nice rubber. It gives you something easy to grip onto. Looks good together. You know, I thought about that, but at the same time, it's like, what's the point? And interesting that the Nightingale doesn't say Worker anywhere on it. Does it come in different colors? I believe there's a gray, an orange, and a blue. Same thing as with the Swift and the whatchamacallit, the Swift. I don't think the Swift has a blue, but the same thing as like the Phoenix. It's the same color schemes as the Phoenix 2.0. There is like a holster for it. I might have it sitting over here. I was showing it to Dr. Flux. The holster is kind of a joke. It's well built, but it's just a little thing that hooks onto this and doesn't snap in anywhere, so this will just freely jiggle on the holster. There's also, they sent me like a little like police lanyard kind of thing for it. I mean, are you going to try the Mayfly mod? Probably not. I just don't have the time or patience. Although, that being said, I do like the one that Band Blasters did. They showed me Mayfly they did. Do you know any good LiPo batteries for beginners? I mean, all LiPos are pretty much the same in that regard. Out of Darts sells everything you need, I'm pretty sure. What's the FPS on that thing? If you didn't hear me, this one, this might be the Pro version. I actually don't know which version of the Nightingale I got. It hits about 125. You know, some shots are 120, one shots are 130. So I'd say about 125. Is there room in the Nightingale for a voltage alarm? Maybe? I think you could. I think you could, but it is nice that, like, you could just tell, you know, when the blaster, like, you can tell when your battery is about to go down, and it has an on-off button, or on-off switch. Ah, the camera! How dare ye! Alright. Why is it that, like, sometimes it does really good? I think some of these batteries are better than others when it comes to, holding a charge. Let me change this to, I'll be right back. Just plug this battery in. I hope this battery's charged. Woo! Fully charged. Menu, camera, USB. Plug it in. Clip it in. And hopefully, nope, still not working. Okay, give me just a second. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry about that. That freeze frame of WALCOMS face is priceless. What's your dream Nerf blaster? Something that has, like, lots of replaceable parts for internals. I'd like to see, like, an X-Mods or, like, a Zip Zaps of Nerf. Swap out flywheel cages. Like, you don't have to have even tools. Like, you literally, like, pull it, like, undo a thing or twist a thing or press something in and literally pull out the flywheel cage and pop another one in. Surprised I haven't even seen, like, a 3D printed design that does something like that. I'm actually really surprised that nobody has even attempted that. Have you had any problems with the darts on Tomahawk? My dart pusher broke. No, I haven't. And mine shot a lot of darts through it. Opinion on paintball. I don't like paintball. I'm pretty sure I answered your question earlier on that. Should I buy a Spring Thunder? I'm a giant fan of shell-ejecting multi-use shotgun. Then yeah, you probably will like it. But again, if you don't have a 3D printer, I wouldn't recommend buying a... I would say it's less important to buy a Spring Thunder. Because, like, you really want a printer to print out all the shells you're going to want. What do you think of the Adventure Force Liberator? It's okay. I hate to be that guy, but when you're asking what I think about something that I've already done a video on, I'm just going to give you very simple responses because I don't want to sit here for, 2 minutes talking about a blaster that I've already filmed an entire video on that would answer any question you have. Foxfire gets close, but I also demonstrates why I printed modular won't work well. That's not quite what I had in mind. I get what he's doing, but, like, the Foxfire doesn't do what I'm talking about. It's like, the Foxfire's, like, halfway there, I would say. You would think that it would be possible for the community to make a blaster, somebody that, like, had a way for you to, like, literally, like, remove a flywheel cage and pop a new one in without any soldering or connecting. I mean, it would be way easier to just connect
Opinion
that
on the string shot
connector,
that
but then you'd have to screw it in and
sells.
stuff. Austin Christmas, opinion on the string shot that France Foam Works sells. It's a very simple little blaster, and I do think it has a decent amount of little power before, and I think it hits like 70, 80 FPS, something like that. What I can't forgive is the grip. The grip on that thing is awful. It is so bad. And for that, I almost a 0 out of 10. It is super uncomfortable. There's no ergonomics. Even like, and it's kind of expensive too for like $35. Guys got to make $1, but like, yeah, that grip. It's really bad, man. Like, almost unusable. Like, it's literally, like, it works with, I don't know why. So, like, it works with the Lepus, but you never really use the Lepus for that long. And since the Lepus has that kind of, like, Mac 11 style, it works. For some reason, like, the grip trigger and stuff for the string shot or whatever it's called just doesn't work for me. Luchathor had one and I played with it. Have you gotten your hands on the Zero Works Hammerhead? Nope, and I probably never will. I thought about it a few times. It was kind of the first thing I wanted to do when I started the hobby, but I think I'll run into size and sturdiness issues when printed. Yeah, exactly. Saturn or Liberator? Saturn, because it has Slamfire. Like, if I was sent to Zero Works to review or something, I might take a look at it, but it's, I don't know, I didn't really see anything. It's cool, but it doesn't do anything theoretically that I don't have blasters that already do. That sucks to say, but it's becoming more and more prevalent. Same thing, like, why don't I have an SBL? Because I already have, like, 17 blasters like an SBL. Is the SBL good? I highly doubt it's not absolutely freaking amazing. But it's like, it's another pump action mag-fed Springer and a sea of pump action mag-fed Springers. Are you planning on doing a review on the Dragonfly by Impact 498? I don't have one. I have seen one. I don't have plans to do a review on it, no. The problem I had with, like, so I bought, like, what was it, the other one, the Firefly or whatever it's called, which is an awesome blaster, especially for like $60. I don't know how he's making money off him. Fantastic blaster. And the Dragonfly looks really good. The problem is, like, there's just not enough there for me to do a whole video on. There's, like, nothing to really talk about. Like, it's good. Go buy one. Hyperfire or Infinus? Infinus. Why? Because you can top up your mags without pulling them out of the blaster, and it feels amazing. Lightning Bug. Thank you. That one. Why didn't people do kits with the Hailfire? The Hailfire is just an awkward blaster. When you only have it using, like, a single magazine, it's like, why have the whole mechanism? Which sucks, because, like, the Hailfire should have been, like, they should have taken the Hailfire and, like, printed it down to a Strife and kept that, but that's Hasbro not understanding what makes their stuff good. The Hailfire has an amazing trigger. The whole magazine reload thing didn't really work out well for it, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty standard cage geometry. I'm almost certain it's, like, basically a Strife cage. And it's horizontal. Isn't it? It might not be, actually. It's been a long time since I've played with a Hail... Oh my god, what's that thing called? Hailfire. Yeah, the Hailfire is also one of those things that, like, disappeared for, like, a year and a half and then came back. I think right now, if I go to Amazon, I can find Hailfires for a reasonable price. NERF Hailfire. It was also one of the first blasters. Oh, never mind. It's $200-something. That sucks. I mean, secondhand is going to be a heck of a lot cheaper, but yeah. Do you think Mega XL is dead? It's kind of looking that way. I also don't know how much they could really do with Mega XL. You know what I mean? I think Mega XL is better off being a replacement for the Elite Rocket. I would rather see, like, new blasters that come out. Like, I would rather them discontinue the Elite Rocket, because as cool as the Elite Rocket was, you can't hit anything with it. You can't do anything with the Elite Rocket. And I would rather them pivot into making, like, could you imagine how much better, well, we basically got that, like, you imagine how much better the Fortnite GL would have been had it just shot Mega XL? I almost feel like that's what they were gonna make, like, they're looking at the Fortnite GLs like, oh, we gotta make that a blaster, let's do it out of, like, let's make a new ammo for it that's like a grenade round, and then somewhere, like, oh no, we gotta do this right now, we're gonna make it just shoot Demolisher rockets and get it out, because, like, it was, like, right after that, like, 2 years after that? No, I guess it's actually been a while says the GL. No, it's been about 2 years, right? I don't know, my time, because I reviewed the GL in the old house. But, yeah, I think, like, they should just, anything that would have been, like, a new age demolisher should be a strife with an undermounted Mega XL dart shooter. I honestly think that's a much, much better design. The Nerf rockets, they just spin and float, and it's horrible. What happened to Boomco? Boomco's dead. It's been dead for years. Should I buy a Caliburn C4? I'm planning to host Nerf Wars, and it would be a pretty good absolutely destroy normal Nerf players. I mean, that just sounds awful to me. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do Nerf Wars. Like, what happens if somebody like me shows up with something that hits harder than that and just absolutely smokes you? What then? Like, that sounds really awful. Should you buy one? Sure, if you like the Caliburn. I mean, that's up to you. You know what you're pretty much getting on the tin. Personally, I would buy a Lynx. I think the Lynx is better, but not everybody likes bullpups. Or, you know, there's other options like the Worker Swift that you can also buy. That would be debatably good. A 49 Flame. I've literally answered this question twice, and you need to just pay attention when I ask it. Because I'm pretty sure you asked me that like 10 minutes ago, and I answered you. Correct me if I'm wrong. As a Transformers fan, I have always wanted to have mini versions of Nerf guns for my figures to wield. Well, lucky you, many of the G.I. Joe figures come with miniature Nerf guns, or blasters. At that point, they might as well be Nerf guns. I also know, like, some of the Marvel series, like, Cable came with, like a Liberator and, like, a Rapid Strike, or not a Liberator, a Barrel Break and, like, a Rapid Strike or a Diatron, or Nitron. Like, they've reused a couple of them and made them. It's so cute. Has there been any word on updates to Domoshevsky's rail cleaner? I don't think so, but I did get his new. Not yet. I bought it. His newest thing is coming, and that is a just insane. I can't wait. That's gonna be a funny video. There was a Guardian of the Galaxy figure with a Night Fighter. Yep, I believe it. I don't think he ever sent me tracking. Maybe he did, but like it's coming from, you know, halfway around the world. Wonder if he's watching the stream. Scavenger or Slingfire? I'm going to go with Slingfire because Scavenger had awful ergonomics in my opinion. How good is a Modern Rebel Spylight? It's going to be identical to a Disruptor or a Strong Arm. Hey, Blizzyard. It's Sunday, bro. I would like to get a Challenger. That thing looks sweet. I really did like mine. I have the Dragon Darts now I need to do a video on. That sucks. Rip a 6SH. Be cool to like. I would like a magazine-fed Mega XL blaster. I don't think it's ever going to happen in COD 3DX. Yeah, I don't see them ever doing it. It's like huge magazine. You need to have a breach for that, which would be really, really difficult. I just don't think they'll do it. And that might be like they're limited for what they can do when it comes to dedicated blasters for Mega XL, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mega XL becomes like unders-mounted, you know, options or rail-mounted options for blasters. I would like to see him do a flywheeler, though, of some description. It would have been cool to see him do like a, you know, like a, some kind of big bore rifle with it. Should be like a Mega XL Predator. Yeah, I agree. Oh god, not the yawn. Oh, that's right. I slept like garbage because my cat is garbage. Like 5 or 6 in the morning, and she just starts scratching on our door and just howling. And finally at like 7:30, I get up out of bed and just go, what? I just, meow, meow. And I pet her. She just sits there. So it's like, I walk over to the food dish, there's food in it. Walk over to the water bowls, there's water in them. So it's like, what? And then I just left the door open. It's weird that everybody's breaking a Zesty. I haven't had any problems with mine. Mega XL RPG. I could see that. It's the double prime lock. Cat in heat? No. She's fixed. I'm not quite, again, I'm not quite sure what her issue was, but yeah, it caused me to not be able to sleep very well. Plus, you know, they start working on the bathroom, you know, nailing and sawing stuff at like 8 o'clock in the morning, so I would have had to get up anyway. And I'm not really a morning person. I'm more of a night person. Buzzbee blasters were good, but now that we're getting worse than before. Yep, let's see what Buzzbee does for 2022. I'm interested to see where they take things. Why do they call them blasters instead of guns? Because calling things guns gets you in trouble. And Hasbro markets them as blasters, and you know, it's funny because blaster sounds more aggressive than gun. But it's easier, like, especially for, like, school kids to be like, yeah, I've got so many Nerf blasters. And that's the difference between something. I got so many Nerf guns. And it's very easy to just miss, like, you hear the word gun before you hear Nerf. It's a safety issue. Same thing with calling darts instead of bullets. You know, bullet doesn't really work anyway. Yeah, that Tetra... Gosh, stop yawning! Yeah, the Tetra Shot should have been better than it was. Does this have caffeine in them? Wow, these have a lot of caffeine. Oh, and I got meat! Yeah! It's a good day. I'm going to be going to bed pretty early anyway, because I'm going to a thing tomorrow. Meat! Yeah, it's actually a kegerator. But I'd have to get CO2 and everything, and I just haven't. Delicious. What kind of TV? That thing? I don't know, I got it from my old roommate. Zero sugar Mountain Dew Spark. Yeah, I wish I had mead. The Flaming Hot isn't in the slightest. I still have the 2 that Lucha left here. And we will have to drink them on stream at some point. Have you tried the new Coke drink? They call it the so-called flavor of space. Yeah, it tasted exactly the same as normal Coke to me. Maybe a bit more berry tinge to it. I couldn't really tell the difference. Have a good night, McDoyle. Ah, I got you, David. That makes sense. I don't think Mango Pepsi is new. I have had it. It was okay. What do you like more, the Knockout or the Fate? I hate to say it, but I think I like the Fate more. But the Knockout has so many mods that you can do to it. Meat. What was the blaster that took the longest to print? I personally don't do a lot of long print blasters. Man, I'm sure that Ranger, that Mega Sniper Rifle took a long time to print, though. Maui Burst? 2 printers is heaven? I have like 5. It's only at Dollar General? Pineapple Mountain. So they had a Pineapple Mountain Dew that sucked. I love pineapple, and I had the Pineapple Mountain Dew. I don't remember what it was called, but it wasn't Maui Burst. I got it like Fred Meyer or something like that, and it sucked. So I wonder if the Maui Burst is actually that good, because I love pineapple. Seeing the Conquest Pro shotgun concept? I don't think I did, but my Conquest Pro is basically a shotgun. Code Red just tasted like someone spilled Hawaiian Punch in my Mountain Dew. Code Red makes me sick. It's been a while since I've had it, but it's so sweet. Can the Fate take a short dart brass breach like the Fate? Yes. If you love pineapple, do the Dole Plantation in Hawaii. I haven't been to Hawaii. Kinda, it's on the other side of, well, technically, when it comes to being landlocked, not landlocked, but I'm on the Washington coast, so technically it's just across the water. Honestly, my fave is definitely Major Wellen. So they have that too. Zero sugar. I actually really like this. I liked a lot of Major Melon. But once I got the spark, I don't know, it's just so good. I like the little bit of sour to it. I have heard about that classic for real. One of my favorite, there's a burger restaurant that's, I mean, it started in Washington. I don't know how far it's spread, called Red Robin. And one of their most popular ones is the, oh God, what is that thing called? Anyway, it's like a teriyaki sauce burger, or like teriyaki sauce pineapple burger. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it's got a burger patty, pineapple, grilled pineapple slice, teriyaki sauce, and I think mayonnaise, and then lettuce, tomato. What is that thing called? Why? It's like their most popular burger. Why am I drawing a blank on it? It's also like the messiest burger you could pretty much ever eat. The bonsai. Thank you, Coney. Jesus. Yeah. It's either that or the Whiskey River burger. Those are kind of the two that are just perfect. Red Robin's like one of my favorite places because the food is in that tier of pretty good, not great, but way better than normal, and the price is also right. And unlimited fries, and their fries are delicious. And unlimited drinks, and they serve like really nice lemonades. They have like a prickly pear lemonade that's delicious. They also had a melonade, and I remember that because it just reminded me of Homestar Runner. Wasn't Mountain Dew meant to be a drink combined with moonshine at the beginning? It's not meant to be drawn. I don't know. It's probably meant to be a medicine or something like that, for all I know. Have you tried Panera Bread? No, never had Panera Bread. Yeah, just never have. Oh. It's really hard on me because like my favorite place to eat right now is literally like the closest restaurant to me, and it's that teriyaki place down the street called Mana. And it's so good. Like, you've seen me eat it on stream multiple times. It's like big servings. It's always good. I've never gotten like a little crunchy piece I can't eat or something in it. It's just fantastic. And then there's also a sushi place called Trappers in Silverdale, which I did finally eat at. I ate at a Trappers once on my birthday and it sucked. But it wasn't this one. I went to this other one and it was actually pretty okay. What do you think of Nerf grenades? I mean, they're practically useless. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Also to start it out as medicine, yeah. Sure. This'll cure the cancer right out of you. Favorite thrift store? Probably Deseret Industries, but there's none around here. When I was in Boise, that Deseret Industries on, I guess it was Fairview, whatever, Main Road. I got everything good from that place, and the prices were always good. My wife wants to know if you all need a driver at Jeb. I don't think so. Jared should be driving us around for practically everything. And I mean, unless I'm doing, he basically is gonna, so I fly in Wednesday, and obviously the event's not till Saturday, so it's like Wednesday, mess around, Thursday. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe it's Thursday. But it's like we get like a whole day of doing whatever Jared drives us around to do, and then we do the event, and then we leave Sunday. Do you prefer indoor or outdoor Nerf games? I actually prefer indoor, but it's really hard to get a good indoor game going. Be careful with the heat. Yeah, I know. Jeb's epic blaster battle. It's recursive. Nah, it should be fine. I should basically be busy that entire weekend. Yeah. It's not like when I went down for the Modern Rogue thing where I had a pretty hands-off experience. This one I'm being basically we're gonna travel around as a group. Is it Wednesday? I could have swore he wanted us to come in Wednesday, and we had like 2 days of just random stuff to do. Yeah, Wednesday is... Yeah. I'm actually just really hoping, really hoping that I get to play more Japanese rhythm games. And in fact, that's like the only thing that I will absolutely 100% want to do that I would sneak away for, is to have like a whole night of just rhythm games. I want $100 of a card for round 1 and to just blow it all playing rhythm games for like 2 or 3 hours. Because that was one of the highlights of the trip for me. And you know, Jared knows I had fun. Maybe that will be enough. I'll bring your Tetris up. That's right, I left that there. I forgot about that. All right. I mean, we'll see if both of us remember. What's the best way to get my hands on a Sentinel? Hope and pray, Jackson. Or spend a lot of money. Are they on Obtainium? I assume they're not cheap. Oh, there's a used one for $60 on, there's one. And it's from Canada. Oof. Oof. There's one on Amazon, or on eBay. Like, granted, that's not the only place you can get stuff, but mega oof. That sucks. I randomly got recommended one of your vids, and as a grown-ass man who hasn't had a blaster since I was a kid, you inspired me to go buy a Rival Takedown, and my kid love them. Yep. That's how it starts, Jimmy. Another soul. How easy is it to get a Power Strike 48? I think that actually might be harder. Power Strike 48. Most people don't know what they are. Hey! There is 2 on eBay. They look like they're from the same shipper. I don't know if I necessarily trust this seller. They got 100%. 150 ducats. They're trying to sell the stock separately for 50. I think that's a bit much. Looks like they actually do just have 2 of them. I mean, you say money pit. Hobbies are money pits. That's just kind of how they work. And NERF can be as cheap or as expensive as you want. I definitely think NERF is pretty accessible for a like alternative shooting sports hobby, all things considered. The 24 is still harder. Yeah, actually, at Quintic, we're like the only 2 with one, huh? Like, no. Like, I've never seen a Power Strike 24 for sale. Was it you that sent, who was originally sent the thing for, it was like, hey, look at that, Amazon has a Power Strike 28, and it's like $70, or 24, and it's like $70, I'm like, oh, I want it, but I was all like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. And I think it was you that talked me into it. I think there was only 2 of them. I probably would have bought both of them had I really thought about it. Like now, it's like when I'm not worried about what I'm going to eat for tomorrow, dinner, I would have bought both without even thinking about it. What's more pricey as a hobby, NERF or Gunpla? NERF is definitely more pricey as a hobby. Gunpla is actually really reasonable. Even if you went like and bought like God Hand nippers, and like the only time Gunpla gets expensive is when you're buying like stuff to kit bash, and if you're buying out of print kits. Otherwise, Gunpla is some of the best, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's some of the best price to entertainment ratio I've gotten. Like, you can spend anywhere from 10 to 40 hours on a single Gunpla, depending on how much you want to do. It's like, PG kits, yeah, but like how many, like it took me a year to build my unicorn and it's still not done. As long as you don't want P-Bandai kits. But P-Bandai kits are fine as long as you get them when they're in stock. I meant to ask, did you ever get my Instagram message? Let's put it simply. I get a lot of Instagram message requests. I will not respond if it's like, hi, Walcom. Hey, Walcom. Hey, Walcom, what do you think about the Jolt? Or if it's like postings like, hey, check out this new blaster. And they're showing me a picture of like something that came out 4 months ago, or it's something that's I've already known about. It's like, because the problem is like, if I accept your message request, I say, that's cool. Or if I answer your question, then you just keep harassing me. And that's what keeps happening. It's horrible. Like I will like answer a single question. And then people's like, oh, well, now we're best friends. I'm going to keep talking to you. And it's like, I never asked for this, and also, I know, I wish I could give you all the time of the day, but do you know how many people are trying to get my attention at any one time? It sucks. Oh my god, does it suck. So, I've almost, like, stopped accepting message requests on Instagram. Now, there's a chance I saw your message, but I won't be able to respond to it because what winds up happening is that people just keep replying and like, oh, well, how's your day been? It's like, bruh, I really appreciate your enthusiasm for my life, but I can't. Number one way for somebody like me to just completely ignore your message is like, hi, Walcom, how's it going? And it's like, I know you have the best intentions in the world probably, but I don't have time. The second worst thing you could do is, hey, Walcom, I have a question for you. Those are the worst.
You didn't ask for this $10 either, but here we are.
NSAQ, you lovable villain, you. Like, I try my best. But it also depends on like how my day's been. If I'm gonna like, if I'm feeling nice or if I had a really crappy day. Nerfing is getting expensive. Look at the Fire Rat Blaster. Pretty affordable as base, but can easily go to $400 for a pistol blaster. How the hell does a Fire Rat become $400? And again, like that's practically anything. You can buy an $8,000 Honda Civic and then put 70 grand of stuff into it. Like that's every hobby. It's a hobby. That's what hobbies do. I can't remember. I sent a picture of our couch covered in Jigglypuff plushes. There were 45. That sounds awesome. The 2 that you guys have made for me, I keep forgetting to bring them up here to join their brethren. And we were trying to win when we were in Texas, trying to win a giant Jigglypuff plush, and didn't. And I needed to look for another giant Jigglypuff and just buy it. I direct messaged you on Instagram and said I just liked your vids. Chances are, Hoot Hoot, I saw that your comment, but I most likely did not respond because in my head, I like your comments. thank you, if I accept the request and go thank you, it's like a Trojan horse. Because never is it just that. It's always something after that. And I hate to be like that, but after hundreds of them, I'm done. I just don't accept message requests. There are people on Instagram that just like, oh, well, he accepted my message request, so now I'm going to harass him all the time. And it's like, if it's real interesting questions, or it's like you legitimately have a question that can't be answered from a simple Google search. If your question is, what do you think about the Firefly? The Colonel Wasp one. It's like, I want to punch you. I've done 3 videos on the Firefly. You could Google it. Like, okay, it's good. That's all I'm going to say. I'm never going to go into detail anymore because it's like, I know it's like, do you necessarily want to watch a 20-minute long video? Maybe not. Like, honestly, probably not. I understand that. I can put it on 2 times then. Now it's a 10-minute long video. Still too long for you? Skip through the video. Still too long for you? Okay, so do you actually want to watch a video? Like, or are you just TikTok exclusive? I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you, if you send me a message request on Instagram, I will probably read it. But if I don't respond, that's why. And I'm not trying to be a douche. I know I am a douche. I'm not trying to be one, though. It's a very frustrating thing. Well, thank you, Baze Trooper. Hello, Jessen. Honestly, 3D printer is one of the best investments you can get if you're actually getting into this hobby. 3D printers are just great investments. There's a company that reached out to me with a printer, and they're like, we think it would be, as you know, broken English. We think it'd be a good fit for channel. And honestly, it's like the same printer that Domoshevsky uses, and it looks pretty good. But it's like a $170 printer, and they want me to do like a whole review on it. Like, oh, they're doing me a favor. It's like, here's the thing. Raid will buy me like 8 of those printers for a 2-minute long integration. And that is more important to me than doing a review for a printer. I'm sorry. We can work something out, but otherwise I have to decline. As cool as I think that printer would be, and how good it would be probably for like new 3D printer. It was the, oh my God, what was it called? I was talking to Domo about it. The KP3S. It's got direct drive and linear rails, and it's like basically a Prusa Mini clone. Pretty cool little thing. I was cleaning my garage. My dad found Blaster from like 5 years ago, so now I'm back down the rabbit hole. I remember watching you when I was younger. Absolutely hated your content. Well, thank you, Joe. That's actually one of the best things that you could tell me as a content creator. And don't worry, you'll always come back. I love seeing all this. Like, I'm selling my Nerf collection. Nerf's dumb. Well, see you again in a couple of years, because I bet you'll be back. She has the fabric to make a giant mushy Jigglypuff. Hide the back cushion on the couch behind you, almost as wide as the TV behind you. It's huge. That's like a 43-inch TV or something like that. We saw a pretty big one. I'd like to get like, honestly, I'm surprised they don't do it. I love a beanbag chair that's just a giant Jigglypuff. I know they made like the Snorlax. I'd like a Jigglypuff that big. Wow, I knew Raid paid a ton. Like, it's not a ton, and obviously it depends on where you are as a creator. But it pays enough that it's like, if I were to tell you the amount, you'd be like, yeah, why are you not doing that? That's stupid. I'll do it. Give it to me. Like, so it's, when people harass you, it's like, oh, how dare you, she'll Raid. It's like, who cares? Like, they are supporting me as a creator. Like, and they're supporting a lot of creators out there. There are creators on the platform that are legitimately super talented that wouldn't be able to do what they do had it not been for Raid being there 2 or 3 years ago when they started. Do another Manscaped ad. If they asked me to, I probably would. I held back a lot on the first one. I really did. I had so much footage of me just like staring at the camera, massaging balls, like Nerf balls in my hands. And I had one where I had 2 ballistic balls and I poured the stuff on them and mushed it around like, and I didn't use any of it because I was like, okay. Like, I was actually worried, like, people were going to get mad. It's like, and I got emails. I got people, only a couple of them, that were like, I can't believe you would do that. My child watches your channel. And I'm like, your child probably watches Chinese cartoons on Netflix that are about pooping. And that's probably hilarious to you and them. But you're mad about something else? Why the heck didn't you show that? Because I thought it was crossing a line. Like, legitimately, so, like, I had an ad offer to do, like, a whiskey. And it was like, I might do it. And then I sat there and I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't because kids watch my channel. And I don't really want ever to impression children with drinking. I didn't underage drink at all. And so I was like, you know, maybe this one's a bad fit for the channel. I'm going to turn it down. And then lo and behold, Drac, like 2 or 3 weeks later, uploads a video where he starts the episode with him grabbing a thing of whiskey and like drinking it on camera. I was like, so much for kids. Do you ever have ads you feel like you don't you really don't want to do for moral reasons? Not really. I get a little because I've like done. I thought like NordVPN and Atlas VPN, and then I'm doing an ad for private internet access, and every single one of them claim they're the best, and every single one of them is basically the same thing. And then there's always going to be that person like, actually, this VPN is really bad because in 1992 their CEO was caught in, you know, doing some kind of. It's like, I don't care. Like, it's a VPN. It's so it's like it sucks when I'm bouncing between multiple. I'd like to do just one over and over again. Exter was an ad I did. I still stand by that product. Exter is awesome. I had an offer to do Ridge, but I missed it because it went to my spam email. And then I emailed them back and they didn't answer. But I still think Exter's better than Ridge from what I've seen. I don't have a Ridge wallet, but the Exter one is just mwah. Love that thing. The Raycons, a lot of people crapped on Raycons because DankPods did a video where he crapped on Raycons. I personally, this is one of those things, like, I don't like bad headphones, but I honestly, like, headphones are, I know there can be a non-subjective headphone experience when it comes to, like, you know, the curve of everything and all that stuff. I don't know. I just know I usually buy pretty decent headphones. Like, almost all. My go-to brand was Audio-Technica. I liked Audio-Technica headphones. I bought Raycons myself like 2 years ago or something like that. I bought a pair for the wife for Christmas, and I bought myself some pair later. And she actually bought 2 pairs for her sisters for Christmas the next year after that. And I thought they were fine. And these were the ones that DankPods absolutely pooped all over. Then I got the new Raycons and did that video when they sponsored the channel, and I thought those were also pretty good. Are they the best things ever? No, but they're pretty good. If you wanted wireless headphones, you wanted to support the channel, and you wanted something that was easy and convenient, then yeah, I thought the Raycons were fine. Are they the best things ever? No, definitely. And I can empirically prove that because I gave those new Raycons very recently to the wife and got myself a different pair of headphones. I actually know where they are, too. And this one also might be the fault of DankPods. So, and here's, I can already tell you, like, the first problem is, this case is way too big. It's, like, triple the size of the Raycon ones. The headphones themselves are also way too big. They're, like, triple the size of the Raycon ones. But these are, KZ ZAXs, with the KZ Bluetooth module upgrades. And these sound freaking amazing. And it was like $80-$90 or something for the set. So, yeah. Have I done Manscaped? We were subscribed to Manscaped before. I say we. My wife uses the Manscaped mostly to do female things. I didn't really use it all that much, but whatever. That was fine, though. What else? I did? Magic Spoon. I actually got a taste of Magic Spoon when I went to Modern Rogue the first time. And I brought like a couple of bags back with me, and I liked it. So when they offered to sponsor the channel, I was pretty happy. The nanosecond I am offered any of the meal prep ones, like, holy crap. I'm hoping like Factor. I'm hoping I can get Factor to sponsor the channel. I will be super happy about that. What others? Like all the games, like I played Frag Pro. I actually, the first time I got offered the sponsor Frag Pro, I swear to God, I played until my phone battery went dead. I actually really liked that game. And I played it for a while, even after the ad where I had the clan and it filled up pretty much instantly. I played it for a long time after that, but eventually I got tired of it and got sucked into other games. Even when they offered to sponsor the channel again, I went back and played it for a little while. Mech Arena, I probably put like 10, 15 hours in Mech Arena. Not as much as I put other games in. Even Raid, when I was filming for the next Raid ad, I actually played Raid for a good hour or so. It's not that bad. The problem is I play a game exactly like Raid, only it has cute anime girl characters, so... what else have I done? I think that's pretty much I've done. The thing that makes me happy is when I get more and more of those. I would use Squarespace, but I haven't felt the need personally yet. I did finally, if you go to fuzzywallsindustries.com, it does take you to the merch store. We have finally fixed that issue. Yeah, and right now I've got a couple more. I've got Noom, which I am familiar with. It's a really hard ad for me to do, also because I'm big and it's a weight loss thing. I've struggled to do that ad, and I need to get it done. But I do have Noom that I have. They're paying quite a bit, so I'm going to accept it. And yeah, and I honestly, like, I hate to say it, like, I know how it goes and I know how it looks, but the reality is there's no instance in which like Patreon and auxiliary stuff in this community will pay enough. I'm sure if I really leaned into it hard, it could do it, but the amount of money, especially when you get return ads, like as this is like my 5th Raid Shadow Legends one, I really hope they keep coming back to the channel once or twice a month. I really do. Because that's like guaranteed income. And that really, really helps. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I am now making more per ads than I am for more on ads than I am doing like YouTube ad revenue. And it's really easy to just skip the ad if you don't like it. And I am gonna try a little bit harder to make the ads a little bit more personalized. So with Raid, they don't give you a script, but they very much, like, for me at least, they have always been kind of nitpicky. So I like Mech Arena was a lot more chill. But yeah, they are very kind of strict when it comes to what you say. Like they will. I've sometimes had to send in like 3 or 4 drafts for them to finally accept it. And trying to make that stuff like actually like really like quick and like, you know, to the point is also pretty difficult when it comes to Raid. But I feel like I'm getting better. I think my next Raid ad's probably one of the better ads I've ever shot for the channel. Well, we'll see. I have fun with it. I like the ads when they work out, but like sometimes, like with the Noom one, like I've tried 3 times to do the ad. I'm like, I just can't do this, man. It's so hard. Because it's like, I can't make it me, even though I'm very well the master at self-depreciation. It's really hard for this one. And I'm worried about setting something in. They just go, you know what? Never mind. Screw this. We don't want to work with you. It's like, well, I tried. Being honest, do you think making videos is worth it? Like, do you recommend it? Here's the thing. Do not ever, under any circumstance, if you go... I don't want to say this is a guarantee, but I feel like if you go into YouTube expecting to make money, if you go into YouTube looking for an audience and expecting people to, you know, rise up with you and like, you know, basically make money and become famous, you're not going to get anywhere with YouTube. There are ways to do that, but the people who do that are genuinely like really crappy people. They are the worst of most. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not, but yeah. I started, if you go back to the very, I don't think I've deleted any videos from, you know, original Walcom. If you started as you want to do the channel, then yeah. The thing that winds up happening for me is that I reach the point where it's like enough people are watching, the more content I upload gets more traction. Why would I not just lean into that? So honestly, like if you're working, like I'm working a full-time job and I have a YouTube channel, when I hope your YouTube channel, you're doing it for fun. And the problem with YouTube now, as opposed to when I started doing YouTube, is YouTube now, you have to be like consistent. And you have to have pretty high quality content. What's the name of the anime girl on your cover photo? I don't believe we have a name for her. It's like Dart-chan. Like, she's not actually Dart-chan, but I thought about replacing Dart-chan with her. Yeah, we don't really have a, it's the character that Slater drew up. She's adorable. I had some minor feedback, like I wanted her to have, you know, a certain style to her, and he nailed it. I thought Mech Arena seemed like a good fit, knowing your mech stuff. Yeah, like I said, the only downside I have with Mech Arena is that in my head, there's two things. One, a lot of matches are mostly bots. In fact, it seems like every match, it's like, if it's, I think it's 5v5, it's like, it's me and 4 bots versus somebody else with 4 bots. That's what it feels like. Even like with the ladder rankings and stuff. But I also don't know how many people are playing the game. And I also don't know how far I am up on the rankings. The more you play, the more XP you gain, the higher level your account goes, and the less of that, like, because obviously, like, almost all games, like even Call of Duty Mobile, like, your first matches are going to be all bots. And it's hard to tell the difference between bots and humans until you start playing it for a while. Mech Arena itself, it's fun. There's a decent amount of strategy. It's not your typical shooter kind of thing. I liked it. Like, I played it for quite a bit. I thought it was pretty fun. Heck, I might play it before bed tonight. The one game that I'm sitting on that I want to play more of, that I haven't, is the Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. I thought it was an excellent game, but kind of same problem. There's mostly bots, and same thing with Super Mecha Champions. Like, one of the reasons why I stopped playing that game was, like, they put bots in a battle royale, and it's like, then the game just becomes like you're playing against 90 bots and 10 actual people. And it gets kind of boring. When's your next upload? It might take me, I want to say Monday. I have plenty of stuff, but I'm trying to juggle them with ads right now. Like, I'm trying to make sure that when I put out videos, there's an ad to go with it. I've seen a statistic that says it takes a whole decade to really get an audience. That may be well and true. I don't think it's quite that way. Adopt Me, like the Adopt Me Bees blaster. Hey, Zach, I miss you. I hope everything's going well. I'm hoping I get a chance to see you at some point. Lots of things I want to show you. Definitely, Zach. Yeah. I hope all is well. Yeah, don't be a stranger at all. I think you have my phone number too, but if not, I can give it to you. I'd love for you to have a chance to come up here. We've done a lot of work up here since the last time you were here. Because last time I think you were here was like October. Yeah, a lot of stuff has changed since October. And most of it for the better. What's your favorite video that you've made? I want to say it was the most recent one I can think of. is there's two. I really liked the fact that the Busby Reaper video did so well, because that was such an easy video for me to do, mostly because it was like, you know what, I want to talk about this thing today, and I just went, filmed it, put it up, and it got really, really good views, which made me super happy. It's like, it's not very often that you get to just talk about something you want to talk about and actually succeed at it. The other one was when I did the M249 video with Lucha. That was like, doing the edit, I was like, oh my god, this video is going to be really rough, because like there's problems with the video all over the place, but I had so much fun with it, and it just turned out great. Paradise. 69 viewers, giggity. Oh, I haven't turned off, which is probably good. It absolutely destroys the microphone. So, I made a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake yet. I have plans for it, and to somehow turn this into a business expense. I haven't quite sure that. But I was going through Walmart the other day, and there was some things on clearance, and I kind of bought them, and they were not cheap, but they're sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Actually, been funny. I actually should go to the company and be like, hey, do you guys want a sponsor thing? But I got some things. That's not their permanent location, but I got some things. Pretty happy with them, to be honest. First video I watched from you was the Practical Nerf on the crossbow. Yeah, Practical Nerf was kind of fun back in the day. I mean, I don't really care too much about them, Nixalius. They always seem like one of those things that's more interesting to hear the story about them than participate in. Hey, Sean. Tilted. There we go. I really need to buy a new camera thing for the desk and a new microphone arm, since this one's like dead. I'm not even using the cool light up microphone right now. Most because I planned on getting up, and I kind of wanted to test out more of the lav mic. Hopefully it sounds good. Yeah, Practical Nerf wouldn't live in today's ecosystem. What camera are you using right now? It's the one I use for all my videos. It's a Sony ZV-1. Hey, James. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. Don't know how much longer we're going to go. I do have to be up early in the morning. Nice to see you, Wolf. Thanks for coming out. Have a good one. No, I won't. I don't. Maybe as like a joke or something for like next year, April Fools, even though I don't really like April Fools anymore on the internet. It's only 7:23 in Washington. Yeah, but I've been doing this for 2.5 hours, and I'm kind of tired. I wasn't going to stream anyway. I have stuff I have to do. And I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I do have some ways to kind of spice up doing streams. I know these last couple ones have been pretty boring. I want to theme them a little bit better. My first start was doing the studio, and that still has some work that needs to be put down into it. Probably should have bought studio lights instead of arcade machines, but my plan for the arcade machines, I might actually like reskin those things with custom, you know, Fuzzy Walrus Industries iceberg artwork. I'm hoping to, this was the plan all along. We talked about doing this already. Is that we want to build like a little arcade, like, you know, hangout area, which there isn't a whole lot of room for that, but maybe. But I'm thinking of like using them as like part of a backdrop for doing B-roll. That might be a thing. And I just, you know, who doesn't want arcade machines? I love arcade machines. I got good games on them too, ones I actually wanted to play. I sat there and played freaking Galaga for like 45 minutes. It's like, oh yeah, you can play Galaga on your phone. Yeah, sure I can, but it's not nearly the same as playing it on an arcade thing. And granted, these ones aren't perfect, but they're good enough. And they were stupid cheap. 150 bucks a piece. You can't beat that. The monitors would be more expensive. Do you think Dart Zone will make a shotgun? I think they will at one point, yeah. Worker Nightingale looks pretty dope. I like it. Is there any concern from people that it looks like a real firearm? Because it looks so not like a gun. I mean, if you're holding it, you can barely tell it's a thing. But then again, high points exist, so... I love arcade Galaga. Yeah, there's... Oh, God. Galaga's so bad, too. It's like that perfect cross between FU arcade game and I want to try again. Because the ship capture mechanic and then the accuracy score it gives you and then the bonus minigame, the bonus rounds are like... Oh, it's like one of the few arcade games that I get like, yeah, I love Galaga. I also got the Midway one. It has Mortal Kombat and stuff on it, which I can't play Mortal Kombat to save my life. I'm definitely more of a Spectacle Fighter fan, like Blaze Blue. But it does have Tubin on it, and the only problem with Tubin is I'm playing it like... So the Midway one has got a normal kind of like 4:3 aspect ratio, and then the other one has a Tate mode, or Tate mode if you watch GameSack. And so Tubin is a Tate mode game, but it's on the one that's not the Tate mode screen. So I'm like, Ugh. So, but I love Tubin. If you've never played that, it's a great game. It also got Gauntlet on it, the original. I'm not a huge fan of the original Gauntlet, but it's not that bad. God, if they ever make one that has like Gauntlet and then like Gauntlet Dark Legacy on it, like that'll be a major frickin' arcade. Like I'm sure they will at some point. Yeah, no, they're pretty good. There's a lot of things to have fun with. Blue Dwarf needs food badly. Red Warrior is about to die, or whatever the colors are. Have a good night, Zach. Do you like the red diamond darts? Yeah, they're pretty good. They don't work good in, like, sealed breaches, which is their biggest flaw, but they're pretty good. Put a Sinistar arcade. I have played Sinistar. I'm not a huge fan of it. Rampart is one of the best arcade games, but you kind of need a friend to, like, really get into it. Do you have any tips for running Vortex Blasters in HVZ? Don't. The ammo is too expensive. If you have the ammo and you want to just get a Nitron and go to town. Speaking of arcade, what is your favorite? Virtual Cop or Time Crisis? I'm going to go with Time Crisis because of the pedal mechanic. I really like that. If I have to play an arcade, like I worked at a pizza place for 7 years, so I've seen the gambit of like arcade games. I'd also been going to that pizza place for a long time as a kid. And Police Trainer is honestly like one of the more fun arcade games with a light gun. I really like Police Trainer. There was a place that the wife and I used to go to in Idaho. It's in Eagle. It's called Grinker's Grand Palace. And they had all the arcade games, pretty much nothing newer than like 91. So had a lot of fun there. They had a lot of rare stuff there. And that's where I got like a good dose of my arcade knowledge. But even growing up, like literally from the day I was born, my grandparents had a Pac-Man arcade machine and several pinball machines. And then when they moved, they didn't keep them, which sucked. House of the Dead, yeah, I don't really like House of the Dead that much. Same thing with like, how many times have I played Area 51, but I don't really like Area 51. Time Crisis is pretty good. I actually will play the Big Buck Hunter games because they're actually ridiculously hard. I actually find like the buck hunting games more fun than like Area 51. Like you played Area 51 once and you just put quarters to beat through it. But like Buck Hunter in those kind of games, like they really do challenge you. But Police Trainer is like one of those games where it's like, oh my god, it's so good. If you just love light gun and doing weird stuff. Basically, the target I bought is like it's like the closest thing you can get to playing Police Trainer with a Nerf blaster. 1942 Rolling Thunder elevator action. Yeah, 1942 Rolling Thunder elevator action. Rygar. I don't know if I like the arcade version of Rygar very much. And Black Tiger, I don't think I've ever played. Japanese rhythm games are always my favorite, though. I would do dirty things to have like a DJ Max like stand-up arcade. In fact, I am debating on buying another arcade 1-up down the road and just slamming a computer in it. I have I don't know where it is right now. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. I have that DJ Max controller, but I might like spring for like a good one, because if I type in like a DJ Max respec controller, I'm sure there's like an aftermarket one that's like stupidly nice and costs like, you know, a couple $100. Yeah, there's one called the Easy Max. How much do you cost? If it's even available anymore. Oh no, it's out of stock, so. And it was $300. But I would love to have an actual, like, you know, I'd settle for like poppin' music, I guess, or something, but I went to an arcade bar a little while and spent a ton of time on Police Trainer game. The light guns were a shade off, though. Yeah. Police Trainer's good. There's apparently a Time Crisis arcade 1-up coming out at some point. They have a couple, like, they have a Buck Hunter one, which I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but I don't want to spend like $700 or whatever it costs. And also apparently the light guns it has are worse than Nerf ones. What else? Outrun is stupidly good. Daytona USA, excuse me. Holy crap. Really want that to be an arcade 1-up. I'm actually fighting to not go to like Best Buy right now and pick up the Ridge Racer one. But I will hold out. The second they announce a Daytona USA one, I think I'm screwed. Oh god, could you imagine if that had online play too? Oh man. Oh man. I'd even take off-road. Why is there not an off-road one? There must be a licensing problem there. I just realized, yeah, like, what is the quintessential, like, arcade game? It's off-road, or super off-road, Iron Man off-road, whatever. Oh, man. Oh. And off-road the Baja. Both good. But Daytona's kind of the best. Then, of course, well, I mean, if you want to get really into it, like, oh, man. A really good arcade game that they could, an arcade 1-up, virtual on. That would be awesome. Because that's one of those things where it's like you can't really get the full effect unless you're using 2 joysticks with all the buttons on it. Now that they're doing more powerful arcade 1-ups, I'm really excited to see what they do. Pac-Man Championship Edition. I don't really know if I know anything about that one. I've played quite a few Pac-Man. Usually Miss Pac-Man is my go-to, just because Miss Pac-Man had changeable, like, different mazes on it. Not very many, but it had some. There's that one we talked about on last stream, like Pac Jr. or whatever, where it was like half a Pac-Man game, half an arcade or a pinball machine. Really weird game. But I'm kind of packed out. There's not a whole lot of like. I know Billy Mitchell would sue me if I said otherwise. I just don't feel like there's a lot going on in Pac-Man to like keep me going. There's an early 90s side-by-side arcade game I can't remember the name of, where you kind of dungeon crawled with selectable characters. Gauntlet? Is it not that? Golden Axe? Did any of the D&D ones ever make it to an actual arcade game? Have you checked out any more of the Doomland stuff? I've checked out all the Doomland stuff. I have all of them. With the exception of the little pistol with the scope. I don't have that one. I loved Gauntlet Legends on the PS1. Yeah, that would be a Gauntlet and Gauntlet Legend. Or, like, what was the one that... Was it Gauntlet Legends? Okay, I think Gauntlet Legends and then Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Yeah, Gauntlet Legends was the one that I remember. Holy crap! Like, I played it on the Nintendo 64, but that was one of those, like, that was a weekend that none of us would ever forget. But it's funny, it's like, once you play it that much, you're like, oh, okay, bored, don't want to play anything else. But, like, and the Gauntlet, like, the arcade game was hilarious, because you could save your character on that machine. So you could, it would ask you for, like, a, 3-letter, 3-number, or whatever, and, like, so your name and then a little password. And then, of course, the best one was Egg 911, which you'd play as the chicken, the fire-breathing chicken. And it was always cool to see if nobody else had ever played as the chicken on that machine yet. No, this was a D&D style game, but it was much prettier. I mean, there's a lot of them. There was D&D arcade games, but I don't know if they're actually arcade games or... Shadow over Mystara and Tower of Doom. But I thought they were only... No, it literally had a cabinet. Yeah, I've never actually played them. Like, I played the ports, but I've never played the actual console. Oh, NSA key right there, backing me up. Held a Jurassic Park recently. Did you notice the bendiness? I believe I mentioned it in my review. That was like my major con against it, was the stock it bends really easily. What do you think about the Spectrum? It's good. Is it good for HVZ? Yeah. I'm really hoping that we see something cool. Like, I know this is like one of the first times this is ever going to happen, but it's like Dart Zone has announced blasters that I don't care for at all. It's because, like, I praised the Jurassic Pro because it was like, oh, it's a Jurassic Park blaster that's not a stupid dinosaur. And then the next two are dinosaur. And it's like, well, it's not for me, I guess. Hopefully that didn't take up slots of other blasters that could have been released. We'll see. It was one of those double cabinet back-to-back designs. So it was like multiplayer, but yeah, I actually don't know what you're talking about. If it's like something that distinctive, I've never played it, I don't think. The Dictator was confirmed to be another Pro Blaster. Yeah, but what is it? Probably a shelf version of the Pro Mark III. Probably without full auto. Or hopefully it's a shotgun. Hopefully it's like 2 Conquests stuck together. That'd be great. Do they sell stronger springs for drum? Yes, Out of Darts sells them. That back-to-back cabinet thing sounds like a Japanese cabinet. Yeah, it kind of does, like an Astro City or something like that. What do you think is your most played video game? Oh, God, I don't know. That's not really fair, because, of course, like Minecraft and stuff like that I've been playing for a decade. Ever played MechWarrior Arcade? Didn't know that was a thing. Played one before where you just sat in this thing hanging. Oh, no, yeah, no, that's probably one of those things like they made 6 of them and they were in Vegas for a little while. I saw there was like a Halo freaking arcade game, but I'm so cynical now. It's like, that's not really. It's like a light gun or something like that. The MechWarrior pods were in several cities. Yeah, I've never heard of it. It's kind of weird. MechWarrior Arcade. Yeah, never heard of it. Would have loved it, I'm sure. Are you talking about MechWarrior or BattleTech? Because there was apparently BattleTech pods. Well, MechWarrior arcade game at a kid's birthday. Original BattleTech pods. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I've never seen them before. MechWarrior 4 arcade pods. Yeah, I'd play the crap out of that. That looks pretty good. But no, I've never heard about it until now. I was just complaining the other day. It's like, you see how many video games or anime or something where the characters actually get inside of some kind of pod and play like giant robots or like fast cars, futuristic stuff. And like, I don't really see that anymore. The closest thing I've ever played is Virtuon. And that's pretty normal. I played them in a Dave & Buster's. I haven't been to Dave & Buster's in like 4 years. Are they still around? Are we talking about a long time ago, or are we talking about a recent thing? I have a feeling, judging by the screenshots, it's probably like an early 2000s kind of thing. Late 90s, even. Dang, I got kicked out of Dave & Buster's. Well, yeah, no, never seen it. Probably would have loved it. Yeah, Dave & Buster's never really was all that fun. We used to go to the local one, especially when they had like half-priced game day. But like almost all the games, there were exceptions, but almost all the games were just like mobile games skinned for playing like winning tickets. The arcade I went to with David's wife, there was a frickin' Jetpack Joyride arcade game. And the funniest part about that is like it literally artificially kills you at one point because it's like it just ends it. It's like you're low on time and there's no way to get more time from what I could tell. And it's like, oh, okay, so I'm just so good, you're just gonna stop the game for him. Okay, fine, all right, that's whatever. And it had the controller was literally jetpack handles, so you just press the button to yeah, it was kind of silly. Yeah, the Dave & Buster's in Boise had Daytona. It had a Neo Geo arcade cabinet that had Neo Turf Masters in it. Those were I mean, it had the Mario Kart games. Honestly, the Mario Kart arcade game, maybe it's just me, but they kind of suck. Maybe that's just me. I don't really like it just feels slow and crappy. It feels really bad. For it feels bad as a Mario Kart game. Maybe it's fine for an arcade, but man, I liked Daytona. Daytona's just, when is Daytona USA not fun? Like for reals. Like it's so good. It's so good. Are you Idaho born? No. I moved there I'm Washington born. I moved there for a good, 4 years. Y'all should have gone to the other location. Honestly, like, we were, like, Jose got this wild hair up his butt to just win tickets. So quite honestly, like, we both got, like, $100 cards. And I think $80, $90 of the $100 cards went into, like, playing coin pusher games. Which, to be fair, is super fun. I don't know. I like coin pushers. As does Jose. He got really bit by it. Poor guy. It's like every time we saw him, he's like, it's like, where'd the Jose go? We go back to the same coin pusher, and he's like still playing it. We were both trying to get enough tickets to buy a Jigglypuff thing, like a big Jigglypuff plushie. And then we go up there to buy it, and they're like, yeah, we're out of that one. It's like, are you... Take it off the wall, then! Don't have it up there! I'm not sure if you ever talked about this or not, but do you have a job outside of content creating? I used to. I used to, when I was in Boise, I was the manager of like 3 or 4 cell phone stores for a company. And when I moved, I had to get another job, and I just like decided to lean into the YouTube thing. And yeah, I mean, it's been up and down, but yeah, I do this full time now. Can we make it till 8? Gonna keep myself going for that long. We're in that lull period, but pretty soon, probably mid-May, early June, we're gonna start seeing more blasters sneak out. At how many subs does it become livable? That is, subs don't even equate to anything. There's, yeah, it's views and what your income threshold is. How many bills do you have? How much debt are you in? So when I moved back to Washington, got an apartment, it was basically like, well, I'm making enough on YouTube to pay rent and have like 120, you know, like a couple $100 left over for food. And then my wife was working in a normal job, so it's like, hey, do you mind if I just do this YouTube thing for a while as long as I pay rent? She's like, yeah, sure. And that's what we did. And it was up and down. There was a lot of down. Like 2018, 2019 for the channel was very, very bad. And I wanted to give up several times and didn't. Despite all the crap this channel has been through, never gave up, kept going, mostly because the wife was very, very supportive. It was mostly her. She's like, well, you're this far in, you can't stop now. And it took a while, but, you know, here we are. Channel's doing really good, I think. And we could do better, but I'm kind of at the max of what I can do as one person. Hopefully we're going to be changing that in the very near future. We have some things going on in the background. Would it take anything other than financial to make you quit NERF? I don't know if I'd quit NERF because I like the hobby. I was doing this for free, so why would I not like it when I'm being paid for it? To quit YouTube depends. If it just gets too stressful, yeah, I've literally had pleasant dreams where I'm working a normal 9-to-5 job. That's sad. Most people are like, I would kill to do YouTube. You say that until, you know, it's a lot more work than you think. And it's like, not work. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm at the job site by 6 and I'm climbing roofs. I'm up 4 stories, 5 stories. It's like, yeah, that's another hard work, but like there's a difference between hard and very hard, because there are people that can do stupidly high intensive, you know, mine stuff while being 40 stories up on a skyscraper, working out in freezing conditions. But the fact of the matter is, like, it's very, very mentally exhausting. You have to be it's not even just the fact that it's like, you have to be a certain level of knowing what you're doing. You have to be creative. And that's the biggest roadblock for a lot of stuff. Is like I don't get to just go up here and like, well, I'm going to make a video. Hi, everybody. It's WALCOMS7. This is Worker's new pistol, the NERF Nightingale. It is a magazine-fed in-grip, lipo-powered, semi-automatic, short dart shooting flywheel blaster by Worker. It's really cool. Let me take it over to the front. You see, that would not make a video. You see the problem. And that's where it's like you have to be entertaining, or like it actually depends on what you're doing on YouTube. But the fact of the matter is, for me, I have to be entertaining. I have to be creative. I have to be pretty good at editing. I have to have pretty good lighting set up, and have a pretty good camera. And you have to be creative when editing too. Like, and it can be draining. There's some days where it's like, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And the other days where it's like, I'll film 4 things and hate all of them. And like, I don't want to sit here and edit a video I hate, which is why I want a different editor. So I can just be like, hey, take all this, make it into something good. I'm going to go work on this. That was not me impersonating Coop. And honestly, here's the thing. Coop does what he does exceptionally well. If somebody were to copy Coop, they would just be that, a copy of Coop. We already have Coop. We don't need a copy of it. When it comes to matter of fact with some pretty witty remarks, Coop's got that covered. Nobody else can really take that from him. There's a lot of people, like, you got to remember, like, there are people, if you were standing over there and watching what I'm doing right now, you would think I'm insane. Because I'm looking at you, and you feel like you're looking back at me. But here's the difference. You're looking at a computer screen at a grossly overweight middle-aged man who plays with children's toys on the internet. I am looking at a damn camera. And I have to pretend that that camera is mostly my friend. I have to remember that when I'm talking to this camera, I'm not talking to an inanimate object. I'm talking to you. You remember that? I'm sure you've seen the meme. It's not even a meme, really, but it's a meme of where they show Gandalf. I can't remember the actor's name at the moment, but he's like in the like they show the actual scene where he's talking to the dwarves in the Hobbit, and then it shows him in like reality where it's like all green screen, and they have like little pictures with lights that show up so where he knows who he's talking to, and he kind of breaks down crying like I just didn't start acting to deal with this. Like that was, and it's sad, but it's like that's kind of the mentality you have to have. I'm not actually sitting here alone in this building. I'm actually talking to you, and that's something that fundamentally some people can't do. Understandably so. But you are insane. Thank you, Supa. Never change. Love you. It's kind of like a conversation with Jose. Harsh. Imagine live streams where you can see your audience. Thank God, yeah, that's not actually a thing. I don't know what I'd do in front of actual, like, yeah. Oh. But thankfully, I don't take myself very seriously. Unfortunately for a lot of people, I don't take this all that seriously. I mean, I do. There's a difference between being able to have fun with pieces of plastic on the internet and, having fun at other people's expense and stuff like that. And that's where lines can get crossed. I've said it multiple times, but it's like when I started doing this, at no point did I ever go seek out for fame or anything like that. That was never, it's still not my goal. Like, what the hell do you think I'm going to, do you think after this I'm going to go jump into a voice chat with a bunch of more people and jump into Facebook chats and respond to people? Like, no, I'm going to go home and probably go lay down in bed, watch YouTube videos or play a video game and go to sleep. And when I wake up, I'm going to go do my adulting nerfy, hang out with friends, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to go right, I probably won't even check any messages or anything because I want to disconnect from everything. I'm not constantly going out there trying to talk to people, and I very much just try to keep to myself and, you know, my close friends and the people who pay me via Patreon to be a part of my Discord channel where I am legally obligated to pay attention to you multiple times a day, which I do attempt to do. I at least a minimum of once a day, but I usually check in 3 or 4 times. That's not my... It's cool that I get to be paid for what I'm doing, but if I didn't get to talk to people again, I probably would be like, well, whatever. I've worked in customer service my entire life, so the people aspect, like, there are times where it's like, because I sit at home and I'm talking to you, like, I'm going to go to the grocery store just so I can say hi to somebody. I have to, like, talk to somebody or else I'll go insane. But if you're wondering, like, how does the Walcom become this? The answer is that my first job, I was a pizza delivery driver. And while I was indeed adorable, I would have to work a little bit harder than just being cute in order to get that tip. So I would have to be less awkward or more awkward, depending on the situation. And I would also have to be interesting or funny or being able to be empathetic or sympathetic and stuff like that to people, which has had all sorts of crazy fun stories in and of itself. I've had very, very interesting encounters over my illustrious pizza delivery career. I didn't do just delivery, by the way. That would be cool, man. And you imagine, like, oh, I'm a pizza delivery guy. All I do is sit there and deliver pizzas. No, because when I came back, nobody else was doing dishes. Nobody else was like, then they'd call me to work the front counter. It's like, I hate you guys. It's like, and then like the freaking waitresses and waiters. It's like, haha, yeah, could you do all these salads for me and all this stuff? And I'm going to get this $40 tip for just talking to people. And it's like, yeah, I actually have to do all of your work, do all of my work, and leave the building to get 1/3 the money you do and put miles on my car. And then at the end of the night, you are sitting there relaxing while I'm still cleaning up all of your dishes from all your table. Like, in hindsight, still a pretty sweet deal. There's a lot of things that restaurant did weirdly that no other restaurant did. Like, I got paid a full wage on top of tips, which is cool. But also, when the waitresses tipped out at the end of the night, like, oh, wow, I made $300 in tips. Here's a 20 for the cooks. And the 2 or 3 cooks would split that. Oh, God, it sucked. But overall, it's like one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Quite frankly. Despite all the bad things that happened. Like putting a knife through my hand. Can you focus on that? Look at that scar! Don't catch a knife, kids! Put a knife through your hand, it's fun. But yeah, it's that's kind of what made me. It's not like I ever shied away from being the nerd. It's not like I ever tried to be something I'm not. I'm a weird dude. You know, what do you think? It's like, hold on, I have to tilt the camera over here. And look at that table. If you would focus, you frack. You see that table with all the Beyblades on it? Do you see anybody there? What about the Gunpla? Yeah, there we go. And all the Nerf and... yeah, all that. Woo! Oh, it's getting crazy up in here. Yeah, you have to be a certain level insane, dude. Like, my like thinking process when it's like, okay, let's go do a video, is I will go over there and I will just rip a couple of Beyblades, and then I'll like be thinking about stuff while just playing with Beyblades, because that's my life now. Restaurant work is pretty hard. I remember, God, the night I almost snapped was I was like, oh God. There's been a couple. The worst was like one of the busiest weekends of any year, and for whatever, I don't remember why, but I just like Olympic marathon Walcom, like Super Saiyan 3. Like I did like 20-something deliveries, and I kept the dishes up all night, and I was busting. I was like the non-stop Walcom max energy badassery. Why? Because the girl who was working the counter, who I've known my entire life because I went to a school with her since I moved there, to the day we graduated, she worked there for a summer, and she was just standing there answering the phone. And she would work the phone, and like, that's not a hard thing to do. It's like, oh, working front counter sucks, says the other the waitress girl. Oh, it sucks so hard. I'm doing that, I'm doing your work, and I'm doing dishes, and I'm doing deliveries, and if they need help up in the kitchen, I can do that too. But anyway, she was only working the phone, which granted, one of the busiest weekends, we kind of need somebody to do that. And I, personally, didn't want to be stuck there until 2 o'clock in the morning, even though we closed at 11, because I would be sitting there doing dishes the entire time. So, I've done it before, and I did it again, where I just, and I kept dishes up all night. And it was awesome. And she had the balls to walk back there the next day at the start of my shift, the next day, which was like the Sunday after the Saturday. But of course it's in the middle of summer, it's an event weekend. And she goes, well, I hope you're ready to work as hard as you did yesterday. And I've never wanted somebody to have evil done to them anymore in that moment. Because it's like, I know you're a smart girl. And yet, you could work a teensy bit harder. I was trying to show you. I was like, I always have a rule when I worked at a place. It's like, I always tried to do better than everyone around me. And that's what I did, and I remember the fury, the hatred of that made me sick. It's like, I don't remember what I did. I blacked out. I was so mad. It's like you think you're special. And the worst part, I think what actually upset me more is like, she was doing front counter and then leaving to go do deliveries while I was doing deliveries and bussing tables and doing dishes. And it's like, most places, like, they have a dedicated bussing person, and the bussing person also gets tips. Yeah, that wasn't a thing. I never got any tips for that. I would bus 100 tables in a night, and I would do it, like, fast and efficiently. And get nothing for it. But I'm still saying, like, in hindsight, much better job than I'm laying it out to be. Like, it was a life. My boss was the best boss I've still ever had. Like a father figure to me. Way more important to my older brother, but like really, really respectable to me. I loved most of the people I worked with. Learned a lot. It made me the person I am today. That's why I worked there for so long. What kind of new plans for the future Blaster reviews, as well as in addition to tag back? Tag back's one of those things. I have thoughts of doing tag backs. I need to get caught up because tag backs I can't put a Raid Shadow Legends ad in a tag back because I don't know if the tag back's going to do very well. But I do have plans to do more tag backs, and they will be sporadic when I feel like doing them. I hate to say that, but if I tell you, yeah, I'm going to do a tag back a week, it sucks. That's not a good thing. I have to feel like doing it. I'm trying to remember what Blaster. There was one recently where I was sitting there playing with it. I'm like, I want to do a tag back on this. I think it was the Hades. Because I never did a formal review of the Hades. And I thrifted one recently. It's in kind of rough shape, but it still works fine. And I thought about doing a video on it. But I also want to get the Dart Zone, the Dart Catch done. Oh, we could name it the Dart Zone. You think Dart Zone wants to sponsor my Dart Catch and we can name it the Dart Zone? Hey, Dart Zone, if you're watching, there's an opportunity right there. My Dart Catch is going to be in like every single one of my videos. I get a few 100,000 views a month. Could be a good branding opportunity. Could have Dart Zone flyers on the walls, all lit up with RGB lights. Yeah, I'll be pretty reasonable too. All right, I think we're going to close things down because I kind of have to go to the bathroom. Worked at a churro place, same experience. Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of a restaurant where it's like, yeah, dude, the servers were bad. Like, they were making their tables, bring drinks out, slinging the food. They would go back into the kitchen and help the cooks. They'd bust their own tables. They were doing their own dishes. I've never heard of that. I've always heard of servers being just like, oh yeah, they put the ticket in, grab the drinks, and that's so hard. It's like they make more money than like anybody else in the building. But granted, this was a place where the servers got paid a regular, like, minimum wage on top of their tips. And it's like, wow, they made a lot of money. And why could they not do I mean, I get they're busy, and it's like, you also got to be a high caliber person. I remember once at one of the servers, it's like, hey, I can't find anybody to fill my shift. Do you want to do it? I'm like, hell yeah, I want a server. Are you kidding me? So I literally put on like a nice button-up shirt, a tie. I mean, I've always been a big kid, so there's no doubt about it, but it's like clean shaven, hair slicked back with gel in it. And I walked in like 15 minutes before her shift, and the guy behind my manager, one of the managers, not the owner, the manager, he looked at me and like, what the hell are you doing here? I said, I'm covering for Tina. She can't come in today. She's like, Tina's a server. You're not a server. And I looked at him like, really? I can do every single thing in this business, in this building besides payroll. I can't serve? I've done it before. Because there are nights when there's only 2 people working. Who do you think brings the food? Like, the guy cooking isn't necessarily always going to be able to do that. And he's like, no, you aren't serving. I'm like, what do you want from me? Okay, fine. And went home. And I think that was just because he didn't want me finding out the secrets of serving and how easy it is, how much money you make. Anyway. You guys have good questions, but we will save things for another stream. Should have a stream next weekend. Hopefully it's a little bit more entertaining. I have ideas. Most of my ideas right now for like really leveling up the streams, I need to have more people. Personnel both in Discord and maybe even in real life. If I don't have people over in real life, which isn't always possible, I'd have to fall back on Discord. So it's like trying to balance these things to make these streams more fun. I will attempt to make more effort into making that a reality this week. So I'm kind of tired of these streams where I'm just sitting here talking. But I can tell you that the streams where I'm talking do a lot better than streams when I'm playing a video game and talking, even if it's a NERF game. The second I fire up a video game, the stream dies by like 2/3. So that's why I don't really do like the Roblox streams or anything anymore, because they always, and then of course it's always just filled with people like, why did you play this game on Roblox? Why did you play the Adopt Me? It's so much better than NERF. Why do you play? Can you play GTA 5? Can you play Apex Legends? It's like that's every single comment. It's like, kids, like, do you guys like, oh, I'm gonna join this stream of this person with 30,000 people watching. Why are you playing this dumb stuff? Play my favorite game. Can you play Super Mario 64 instead of World of Warcraft? It's a gosh. Ugh. So we'll be doing some stuff. And since the Dark Catch is almost done, like I said, that's going to turn into a regular thing too. I want to make more streams where I'm just like, you know, we're going to test this blaster against the target and just get a box of blasters and ammo and just sit there and shoot at a target, play the games on the target, because we never really do that. I'm hoping to get hopefully more of those targets and stuff in the future, because there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with multiple of them. I have plans. Oh, and of course, live streaming games. Did I ever, like actual NERF games? Did I tell you that we're clearing out the front yard to make a mini arena just for this summer to kind of test stuff? And from that, if that pans out at all, we can extend it like triple the size in this direction. It'll be fun. At least I'm hoping. And we'll have, hopefully, because of all the stuff going on, we will have the technology, the cameras and stuff set up to do that. Because I'm sure a camera that I can put out there and hook up and have it go onto a Wi-Fi mesh network that has decent quality and can all be controlled by like OBS or something, I'm sure that's not very cheap, and we're probably going to need 5 or 6 of them. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I'll be good since I didn't do it last time and say bye to everybody in the chat before I Have to bolt for the bathroom and go to the, yeah. And Satsu48, Deceptitron, Dizzy Dragon, Foam Flinging HS, Gothic Raider, Homely665, our beautiful moderator, Isaac Grande 2.0, Jackson Weekly, Parker D, Soil Worker, nice to see you, thanks for coming out. The Very Hateable Owl, the Very Hateable Owl, I like that. The Wasteland Explorer, Austin Christmas, thank you very much for joining me. We do these live streams every Saturday night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Starting to get in the summer, starting to get a lot more fun. And of course, I hope to see you in the completely different one, different stream. We will have a lot more videos. Like I said, I'm front loading a lot of them with ads right now, but I say that every month. But this month's different because I'm not going to be sick. I got a thing to prevent myself from dying. Take care, everyone. I'll leave you with the rest of the song.